Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this great big world o' ours. This is Brandon with Geaux Stros. I'm actually on time today. Technically, I'm on time. I'm a minute early compared to the launch time of the game. The game is supposed to start in 1 minute, so I'm a little before that. I wanted to get on here a little earlier so that we could have a little bit of a buffer time, but just getting set up and getting my coffee and all that kind of stuff. It's 10:40 in the morning here in Hiroshima, Japan. It's a beautiful day. It's an absolutely gorgeous, beautiful day outside today. The weather is perfect. The sun is out. The skies are blue. The birds are singing. Maybe the crows are calling. There are a lot of crows in Japan. For those of you who are not familiar with Japan, there are crows everywhere. Crows and pigeons. Crows and pigeons. The Astros are facing today Game 2 in Seattle, their second matchup against the Mariners this season. Jose Altuve is already at the plate. This game has just begun. The first pitch is on the way, and he grounds it to shortstop. It's going to have to be a quick play by, what's his name? I can't remember the shortstop for Seattle, but Altuve is out for the first opening at bat of the game, right off the bat, going after the ball. Let's see here. I need to update my information on the screen. Who's up to the plate? Is that Paredes? Yeah, it looks like it. Isaac Paredes is at third base, and he'll be the second batter. Altuve is in left field today. Here's a second pitch to him. First pitch was a ball. Next pitch just slightly outside, ball two. So 2 balls, 1 away, 2 balls to Paredes, nobody on base. Trying to get caught up here. I wish I'd gotten into this like 5 minutes earlier. Next pitch is right in there. Oh man, that was crushed. 95 miles per hour right in the middle of the zone. And hammered foul down the third baseline. Man, that would have been like a line drive home run. Luis Castillo's on the mound for the Mariners. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. That's low and away, ball 3. Good take by Paredes. Paredes' bat is looking really good. There's only been 1 pitch in the zone, and he crushed it into the left field stands. 3 balls, 1 strike. Here comes a pitch from Castillo. Another fastball right in the middle, 95 miles an hour, and fouled back. That one goes off the mask of the catcher. He seems all right. Took off his mask and readjusted things a little bit. Castillo kind of reminds me of the big locks, the big dreads, and the big hair that Valdez has. Is it Luis Garcia that also has some interesting hair? We got some pretty interesting pitchers on our team. Full count. Here comes the pitch. He grounds that one up the middle. It's a base hit, guys. So Paredes is on base with 1 out. Once again, just a really good at-bat by Paredes there. Swinging at the good stuff. Let's see if we can take a look at it. Yep, just hits it right up the middle. We got us a base runner. That brings up Yordan Alvarez. Let's see here. We got a runner on first. Let me reset these. There we go. First pitch to Yordan on the way from Castillo. Way high, 95 miles an hour. Ball 1. High and inside. Alvarez getting close to batting 200 for the season so far. He's coming back a little bit. He's getting there. Here comes the pitch. That one's low, almost in the dirt. 84 mile per hour slider. Yordan not biting on that one. If that ball had been in the zone, it would have been crushed. That would have been a baby pitch for Yordan. Wherever you're at, I appreciate you being here today. Here comes a 2-0 pitch to Yordan. 95 right in the bottom part of the zone, but he fouls it off. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. Strike 1. The count is 2-1. Paredes on first base, 1 away. Here comes the pitch. 95, a little high and inside. He fouls it off, and that's strike 2. That was not a good pitch to be swinging at, in my personal opinion. Here comes the 2-2 pitch to Alvarez. That's crushed to right field. It's going all the way back to the wall. It might be gone. It's right at the track, and he catches it right at the wall. Just a couple of feet shy of the wall. They played Alvarez in the right spot. Man, he almost got that one out. It just needed a little bit more. That was almost a 2-run shot. Let's take a look at it. Look how close it was. Yeah, it was not quite high enough. You can see right here if you look real close. Yeah, it definitely wouldn't have gotten out. You can't really tell from that angle so much, but it would not have gotten out. It would have hit about a foot, foot and a half below the line, but it was close. It was close. Ball 1 to Christian Walker. 2 outs now. 2 away. 1-0 is the count. Here comes the next pitch to Walker. Foul tip, 95 on the inside. That was a good pitch to be hitting, and Walker just couldn't get any more than a tip on it. 1-1. Batting 175 right now for the season. About the same as Alvarez. Here comes the pitch. 95 right down the middle. Castillo just challenging Christian Walker. I don't think he believes that. I think that Castillo believes Walker can't hit that fastball. Swinging like that, I'd probably think the same thing myself. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the 16th pitch of the top of the first for Castillo. Still got that runner on first base with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Way high. 94-mile-per-hour fastball, but that was more than a foot out of the zone. Count is even, 2-2. Okay, my coffee is ready. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes a pitch. Check swing, did he go? They're going to say he did, and that's strike 3. Yeah, I think that was pretty clear. Castillo gets the strikeout. Walker goes down on a terrible check swing on a pitch that was going to be ball 3. Astros come away with nothing, but very, very close to an Alvarez 2-run home run. I would say probably 2 feet. 2 more feet on that hit. And Alvarez would have had him a 2-run shot in the first inning. But as it stands, it's 0-0. We're going into the bottom of the first. The Mariners will be due up to face Framber Valdez in just a moment. Valdez has pitched 2 games this year. He's 1-1 with a 3.75 ERA. He started off well and then had some trouble in the last game. Let's see if my live stream update is correct. I want to double check it. Make sure everything's working all right. Yes, it's correct. Bottom of the first. Oh, 2 outs. I got to change that. No outs. No outs. There we go. Okay. Now it's right. Sorry about that. No outs. No runners on. Okay, we're all good. We're all good. Anyway, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing okay today. Like I said, it is a beautiful day outside here in Onomichi, Hiroshima. Framber Valdez takes the mound. He just finished warming up. Now he's walking around. He's going to be facing Dylan Moore, Julio Rodriguez, and Kyle Raleigh. Top of the Mariners batting order. Here comes the first pitch. 93-mile-per-hour sinker. Below the zone for ball 1. Good take by Moore. J.P. Crawford is the shortstop. That's what it was. He's the guy that made the play in the first inning against Altuve. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Valdez. Moore takes that one. Ooh, right in the bottom of the zone. Just barely called a ball. That could have been either way. Dylan Moore, through 9 games, is batting .381. I wish all the Astros were hitting .381. 2-0 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Valdez misses again. A few inches inside and low. That's ball 3. He's yet to throw a strike. Not good if he starts off the game with a walk. Unless he straightens up after that. This one's right in there. 93-mile-per-hour sinker in the bottom of the zone. Strike 1. 3-1. Let's see what he goes to now. Put a little comment in the chat there just to have one. 94 sinker right in the middle of the zone. Hit way out there, sky high out into the right field stands, and that's a full count. So after 3 balls, Fromber comes back and makes the count full. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Moore swings and hits it into right field. It's a line drive, and it's caught on the run by Cam Smith. What a good hit. I mean, what a good catch. I mean, the hit was good, actually. The hit was good. But, man, Cam Smith, he didn't have to dive. He caught it on the run. What a good scoop right off the turf. That was going to be a leadoff base hit for sure. Take a look at this. That, I mean, he just barely got that. Look how close this is. Good play by Smith. 1 away. Colorali's at the plate. He takes a ball for a 1-0 count. Here comes the pitch. This one's hit up the middle. Is it going to be playable? Myers is on the run. He makes a diving catch. Holy freaking cow. Jake Myers showing up Cam Smith with a diving backhand catch in center field. What a beautiful catch. And Myers out there laughing about it. And he does a little fist bump with Cam Smith. Look at this, man. The Astros outfield just making it look awesome. Look at this catch by Myers. He's like, listen up, young guy. This is how you do it. Look at that. 2 away. That brings up Kyle Raleigh. First pitch is a strike. It's right in there. Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Good pitch. 96-mile-per-hour sinker. He's not able to touch it. Strike 2. 0-2 is the count. 2 away. Nobody on. Man, Cam Smith and Jake Myers, they're probably making Valdez really happy right now. Altuve out in left field. 0-2 is the count. Here's the pitch to Raleigh. Swing and a miss. Fromber gets a strikeout. And that's going to be it for the Mariners. And we're going to go into the top of the second. Man, what an inning. That was fun. That's the kind of baseball I like to see, you know. If they're going to get an out, make it a fun one. Cam Smith with a great running catch. Jake Myers with an amazing layout catch. And then Fromber with a strikeout. That's the kind of stuff I like to see. So we're moving into the top of the second. Let me see if we're updated on the screen. It should have just changed. Yes, it did. Top of the second. Astros 0, Mariners 0. Astros have 1 hit. No hits for the Mariners so far. Man, that was nice. That was really nice. Let's see here. It seems I've got some messages. I'm going to check those right quick. A friend of mine in China, we're talking about some of the differences between what's going on in the U.S. and China related to this so-called trade war. And one of the things that he and I have talked about several times before is the fact that because of America primarily, China has become what it is today, as far as, or not necessarily today, but it became financially successful, and it made a lot of money, and it had a lot of stuff that it couldn't have gotten before without America. The production help and support, the America buying everything from China. These things really, really are the main reason for China's growth. Not the Chinese government and not anything they did, but what America did. Pena's at the plate. The first ball's a little low, but they call it a strike, so that'll be strike one. But anyway, we're just having a fun chat about that. He's not a fan of their government. Pena hits it to the left side, and he's going to probably beat that out. Is he? No, they call him out. That was really close. It was hit to Crawford. He made a backhanded throw all the way over to first base. They're going to take a quick look at it to see if they want to challenge it. Man, Pena should have beat that out. Let's take a look at this. It was a good play by Crawford. Man. Difficult to say right there. We'll see. Are they going to challenge it? No, they're not going to challenge it. First pitch to Rogers is a ball. Here comes the second pitch. And that'll be ball two. No, they call that a ball. 2-0 against Brendan Rodgers. He's batting .333 through 8 games. Not bad. Swing and a miss on the inside. Man, he tried to pull that one. It was about 5 inches inside. 95-mile-per-hour pitch. Strike one. 2-1 is the count. Yes, Goldilocks. Geaux Stros. Here comes the pitch. 2-1. Way high and outside. 3-1. Rogers gets ahead in the count. Another opportunity for the Astros to get a one-out base runner. This is the 24th pitch for Castillo. Here it comes. Right in there, 95. It looked like Rogers was taking it all the way. I don't know why. Full count. Here comes the pitch. This one's grounded to the shortstop again. He gets it on the bounce and fires it over. That one's no problem. 2 away. Oh, man. 2 outs. Up comes Yainer Diaz. A guy that I'd really like to see get it going, man. Here's the pitch. Right up the middle, 95 miles an hour, and he fouls it back. Nice to see him get some wood on it. 2 outs here in the top of the second. 1 strike, no balls, nobody on. Yainer just batting .067 for the season. Woo, he can't get a hold of that one. A high fastball, 95 miles an hour, strike 2. Come on, Yainer, you can do it, man. Lock down. Get a leg kick or something a little early. Get that timing down. Here's the pitch. Way high. That one was about 2 feet out of the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes against Diaz. Did you guys hear about the trade? Montero going to the Braves? Here's a 1-2 pitch. High fastball, this time fouled away. The count remains 1-2. Rafael Montero was traded to the Braves for some money, for cash, and some future prospect to be named later. Now the Astros are well under the luxury tax, maybe about $1.9 million. Well, not well under it, but $1.9 million underneath the luxury tax, which is good. Maybe they can do something with that. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yainer Diaz. 30 pitches now for Castillo. Here's the next one. Man, he could have let that one go for ball 3, high and outside, but he fouls it away. Count remains 2-2. I don't quite understand putting Diaz in there at DH right now if he's not even batting 100. I think we can have some better choices on the bench for that. Here comes the next pitch. In the dirt. Good take. Ball 3. Change up in the dirt, 89 miles an hour. If that had been in there, it would have been a good one for Yiner to hit. But it was a good take. That changeup didn't have much movement on it. Pretty easy for Yiner to lay off. Here's the next pitch. 95. That was a good way to stay alive. A high fastball, 95, but Yiner was able to get around on it and foul it off. They are making him work a little bit. This will be the 34th pitch in 2 innings for Castillo, and here it comes. This one's grounded up the middle. It's going to be straight to the second baseman, and that'll be out number 3. That's all for the Astros in the top of the second. We've got all goose eggs in this game, guys. 0-0. Astros have 1 hit. The Mariners with no hits. Now let me update all this info here. There we go. And double check the live stream. Any comments? 2 people watching right now. Is the game too? I thought since this game was later, more people would be listening in. But I guess I was wrong. I did a little bit of refining on my channel layout. I wanted it to look cleaner and have better information on the screen. I wanted it to have the updated scoreboard. I have to manually operate the scoreboard, but the good thing is it's so much better than the way it was before, because whenever a team would score or they'd get a runner on base, I would literally have to select those things and turn them on or off and type in the numbers and things like that. But right now I don't have to do that. I'm using a website called FlexiScore, and FlexiScore allows me to it has all of the information, the game information on the screen. So when somebody scores, I can just press one button and it adds a run. If there's a runner on base, I just click that base and the runner appears on base, and it updates the scoreboard automatically. It's so much easier. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect system because it's not automatic, but it gives me complete control, and it's so much easier and cleaner than what I had last year. Very, very lucky to have found this tool. So very happy. And the layout that I'm using right now, I built it with the help of both ChatGPT and another AI tool. ChatGPT helped me with the graphics, and then another AI tool helped me with making the video background with some movement and stuff. Valdez is back on the mound. He's facing Randy Arozarena. Here's the pitch. Ooh, nice pitch. 87 miles an hour on the lower outside corner. Strike 1. Arozarena batting just 150 for the season so far. Here's the pitch. Another one right in there. A nice curveball. Big curveball. Fouled away down the third baseline. Arozarena got around on it too early. The count is 0-2. Here comes the 14th pitch from Valdez. That's bounced right back to Valdez, but he can't get it. It's handled by Rogers, but he makes a wild throw. What in the world was going on there? Wow. That ball was bounced right back to Valdez, but he couldn't quite get to it. Rogers made a barehanded play on it, but he made a wild throw to first base. Let's see if you can see it right here. Can we get another? No, that was it. Could have been an out. Just a bad throw from Rogers. It was a good effort, though. I mean, scooping up with your hand and firing it sidearm over like that to first base is not easy. Ball 1 to Mitch Garver. Runner on first. Here's the next pitch. Right in there. 93-mile-per-hour sinker. Good pitch by Valdez. 1-1 is the count. And I need to update my information on the screen. There we go. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Way outside, and it bounces off Yiner's glove. Rosarena's going to easily get to second base on that. Runner on second with no outs. 2 balls and 1 strike. Take a look at this. Just bounced off of Yiner's glove there. Rosarena was easily able to get to second base. Well, after that, he hits the foot of Garver. The very next pitch, Valdez hits Garver's foot. So Garver goes to first base. No outs, 2 runners on. You can see right here what hit him. Just right on the foot. Not a big deal. He didn't really try to move. Didn't move his leg, didn't move his foot. But base on balls. They have a little meeting on the mound, and they break it up really quick. Just a little quick meeting. Bottom of the second, guys. Valdez on the mound. Gave up an infield hit, basically, and then hit a batter on the foot. Donovan Solano is at the plate with 2 runners on, no outs. That's a good pitch, a curveball right in the middle of the plate for strike 1. Batting .071 this season. Here's the next pitch. Way outside again. That curveball missing its mark by a mile. A few of these pitches just way out of Fromber's control, looks like. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That one's in there and fouled off. 94-mile-per-hour sinker. Heads off into the crowd down the first baseline. This next pitch will be the 22nd pitch for Valdez. Valdez has made 7 pitches so far this inning without a single out. And here's the next one. 1-2 pitch to Solano. Solano swings and misses. Yiner scoops it up and tags him. That'll be it. That'll be a strikeout for Fromber. Good pitch. Nice strikeout right here. Luke Raley comes to the plate with 1 out. Lefty facing a lefty. He grounds it to the right side. It could be a double play. Second base, back to first. He's too late. He's safe. Donovan was not able to get it off very quickly. He scooped it up, but the transfer to Pena was too slow. So they get the runner at second. They definitely could have made the double play there. Brendan Rodgers just couldn't get it out of his glove. As you see here, a very slow transfer. So that was not on Pena. But 2 away as Ryan Bliss comes to bat, the 8th batter in the lineup, batting .200 this season. Runners on the corners, 2 away here in the bottom of the second. Here comes the 24th pitch from Valdez. Right in the middle, 95. Center, bottom of the zone, strike 1. Good pitch. Beautiful sinker. 24 pitches. Here's the 25th. 0-1 count. Raley goes to second. That ball's in the dirt. Yiner is not able to make any kind of throw on that. Wow. Yet another stolen base for the Mariners. 4 so far. But on this pitch, you can see that there was nothing that could be done there. Somebody is stealing and that happens. Yeah, you're done. 1-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Beautiful curveball on the inside and low. Man, big whiff there. Excuse me. I need to blow my nose. I'm going to have to mute my microphone in a minute and blow my nose so I can quit sniffing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch to Bliss. Another curveball low and inside, but it misses by about a foot. That evens the count, 2-2. I see we've got around 10 people listening in right now or following. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Ryan Bliss is at the plate for the Mariners with runners on second and third and 2 outs. The count's 2-2. We have 2-2. Here's the pitch. Nice swing and a miss. A curveball, and Bliss goes down in what looks like some pain. Wow. Strikeout for Framber Valdez. I'm not sure exactly what happened with Bliss, but he looks a little injured after that pitch. So Framber, after getting some traffic on the bases, manages to pull it out. All right. He locked it in, got a couple of strikeouts, got a ground out, and he got out of the inning. Good comeback from Framber. Score remains 0-0 when we go into the top of the third with the Astros and the Mariners tied 0-0. Any comments in the live chat right now? None, but there is a notification. Okay, one of the channels that I follow is they uploaded a video. I don't have time to watch that right now, that's for sure. And I'm going to take the opportunity, I think, to blow my nose. I also have a package to check to see if they delivered it yet. If they've already delivered it, I'll be a little surprised, though. It's supposed to arrive today. It was overnight delivery. But it's only about 11 o'clock, almost a quarter after 11 here in the morning in Japan. So probably it will be delivered this afternoon. That's just my guess. Okay, everyone. Sorry about that. The count is 0-2 already on Cam Smith. I had to blow my nose, so I turned my microphone on mute. Couple of strikes here to start the inning. He had a really good catch in the first inning. Here's the pitch. He fouls that one off. A 94 right in the middle of the zone. The count remains 0-2. Yeah. Had a little stuff stuck in my nose, and I'm glad to get that out. Now I don't have to keep trying to sniff and breathe that out. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Smith. Strike 3, swing and a miss on a 94 mile per hour fastball. Not looking very impressive with his at-bats since spring training ended. Cam Smith had a really great spring training, but hasn't done much. Batting 105 right now. Myers, however, is batting 250. If he can bat at least 250 this year, I'm happy with that. 96 miles per hour, swing and a miss. He calls timeout, steps out of the batter's box to take a break. Castillo comes set. Here's the 40th pitch from him. This is grounded right up the middle. A base hit by Myers. 4 games in a row now. Myers has gotten on base with a hit. Excellent. There we go. Runner on first. The crowd is booing like crazy. You know what that means. My hero is at the plate, Jose Altuve. The crowd showing some love. Sarcasm, of course. Ball 1. Good take by Altuve. That one's outside. 1-0 is the count. He grounded out in the first inning. Here comes the next pitch. That one's in there. 95 mile per hour fastball on the outside edge. Crowd is kind of sparse. Looks like less than half of the stadium. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss by Altuve. Myers is in there with a steal. How do you like that? So even though Altuve takes or swings and misses on that, it looked like a hit and run. Myers did manage to get in there. Look at this, just barely got under there. Good job by Myers. Good jump, good run. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Altuve. And he takes that for strike 3, and that was outside. That was not a good pitch. Out number 2. Myers on second, 2 away. The crowd cheers as Altuve goes back to the dugout. A ground out and a strikeout for Altuve today. Isaac Paredes comes to the plate. He had a big, strong rip earlier and then a single after that. A good at bat. Let's see if he can repeat that now. It'd be nice to get a long single or a double or a homer here. First pitch is a ball. Paredes looked really sharp his first at bat. Let's see him have a big day. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Castillo. Ah, man, that's a 96 mile per hour pitch right in the low part of the zone. Strike 1. The count is even. Here comes the pitch. This is hit hard to the left side. Is it dropped? It is dropped by the third baseman. But it was hit so hard that he was able to pick it up and throw Paredes out at first base. Man, if that had been anybody else with a little bit of speed, that would have been a base hit. Wow. It was a really strong line drive right at the third baseman. He gloved it down and had to scramble around to grab it and fire to first. By the time he got it there, Paredes still had 3 more steps to get to the bag. He's not a fast base runner. So unfortunately nothing comes of that. And that'll be it for the Astros in the top of the third. We go into the bottom of the third. Score is still 0-0. 2 hits for the Astros, 1 hit for the Mariners. Man, Myers has been doing well. Yeah, wheel bite. He's not doing bad at all. Right now, his batting average is actually .286. It was .250 before that last at bat. Now he's batting .286. I can't complain about that. Somebody said the other day that if Myers were a consistent 250 batter for the whole season, they'd take it. And I agree. But man, if he could do even better than that, I'd be so happy. I'd like to see Myers bat 275 on average for the entire season, if not better. But 275 is reasonable. If he could do that, how big of a contribution would that be to the Astros this year? It would be a huge thing. 10 people following along right now. Thank you for being here. I am broadcasting from Hiroshima Prefecture. I'm checking a package that I'm expecting to be delivered today. I want to see where it's at. Let's see. Designated date for delivery today. Where is it out right now? Oh, it's actually already in the city that I sent it to, and it's being processed at the post office. So it'll be delivered today for sure. That's nice. Crawford is at the plate now. J.P. Crawford, he's facing Framber Valdez, who is up to his 30th pitch with this delivery. Here comes the pitch. Too far inside on that sinker. Ball one. Here comes the next pitch from Valdez. Strike that's in there. Oh, apparently I missed a pitch. There are 2 balls. So that one's a strike. So 2 balls and 1 strike. I don't know how I missed that other pitch. I guess it was when I was clicking off for to update the count. Whoo, 94 right in the top of the zone. That was a strike, but it was called ball 3. This is why people want the AI assisted strikes and ball called, because stuff like that. Here comes the 3-1 pitch, fouled off by Crawford. That was a 94 mile per hour sinker right in the zone. Either way, it would have been a strike. He was right to swing. Full count. Here's the next pitch. A swing and a miss. Man, what a pitch there. I don't know why he was swinging at that one. That was way inside and low. Must have really fooled him. But Valdez picks up another strikeout. A fastball low and inside. Man. Whew. Another strikeout for Valdez. That brings up Dylan Moore. He takes that on the inside corner for strike 1. Little change up at 88 miles an hour. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That one bounces low and inside. 80 mile per hour curveball, and that'll be ball 1. Dylan Moore lined out his last at bat. Here's the next pitch. Another curveball, 78 miles an hour, fouled away down the third base line. More towards the dugout, actually. Strike 2, 1-2. Sousa has been recalled from the minors, apparently. Next pitch, another curveball. Same result, fouled away down the third baseline. Dylan Moore getting around on it way too early. One ball, 2 strikes. Valdez is ready to go. Long delay, and now here's the delivery. Oh, check swing, did he go? They say he did not. That was close. Ball 2. That 91 mile per hour changeup on the outside corner almost got more. Count is even. Will Bite says him and Rogers have been better than expected, in my opinion. Myers is definitely better than expected. I think that if Myers is batting consistently 250, I think that that's what they expect him to be able to do. 3 balls and 2 strikes on that pitch. Full count. But right now, Myers is doing a little better than expected, so that's true. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout by Valdez. Nasty curveball there. Beautiful pitch. 2 strikeouts here in the bottom of the third for Valdez. Boom, boom, boom. 2 away. No runners on. Here comes the next pitch to Julio Rodriguez, who fouls it off. 91-mile-per-hour changeup. Strike 1. Rogers also, wheel bite, has been doing well. You're right. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Rodriguez tries to launch on that one. It's a 90-mile-per-hour changeup. He gets nothing but air. He can't even touch that ball. Strike 2. Valdez way ahead in the count, 0-2. Rodriguez takes a moment for timeout. And now he steps back into the box. Here comes the pitch. 0-2 delivery. Woo, the bottom fell out of that curveball, but Rodriguez was able to hold up. That'll be ball 1. Well, I think it's time for me to pour a second weak cup of coffee. Maybe I'll wait until Fromber gets the strikeout. Let's see. Get the strikeout here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 away. Here's the pitch. Ooh, fouled off of his foot. Okay. Count remains 1-2. I'll go ahead and start the pour. .45 pitches now for Fromber. Averaging 15 per inning. A little high. Here's the next pitch. Ooh, check swing. Did he go? Oh, they say he didn't. Ball 2. 2-2. That was close. Fromber's kind of laughing. He thought that was strike 3. Here's the pitch. Too far inside and low. 81-mile-per-hour curveball. Ball 3. So after getting way ahead in the count is now full to Julio Rodriguez. Valdez sweating just a little bit. Let's see if he can get the out right here. Here comes the pitch. Nope. Low and in the dirt inside. Terrible pitch. And Rodriguez walks. Runner on first base with 2 outs. That brings up Kyle Raleigh. Fromber takes a little stroll around the mound and takes in a big breath and lets it out. Now he's back up on the rubber. First pitch to Raleigh coming up in just a moment. Raleigh steps out of the box. Now he's back in. Here comes the first pitch from Valdez. Just barely misses on the outside edge. Ball 1, 95-mile-per-hour sinker. I noticed that Valdez was throwing a lot more curveballs in the past couple of batters than sinkers. Normally it's more sinkers. Here's the 50th pitch of the game for Fromber. Low and inside again. Not a good pitch. 2 balls and no strikes to Raleigh. Too many balls for Valdez suddenly. Here comes the pitch. Rodriguez goes to second. Here's the throw by Yiner. It actually hits Rodriguez. He's going to be safe. Stolen base. But at least that pitch was a strike. You can take a look at this replay here. I don't think it would have mattered if the throw had gotten there. He was already in there. Stolen base for Rodriguez. It seems like the Mariners are just stealing at will against the Astros right now. 2 balls and 1 strike against Raleigh. 2 outs, runner on second. Here's the pitch. Curveball. It looked like Raleigh waited on it pretty well, but he fouls it back for strike 2. The count is even. Starting to feel a little warm in here, and I don't even have any heat on. I need to open the window. Oh, my phone is buzzing. Why? Somebody calling me? It seems like I'm getting a call. Yeah, I'm getting a call, but I can't take it right now. I don't know who's calling. It's probably the International Center in Hiroshima City. I'll have to call them back in the break. Grounded to third. It's picked up by Paredes, no problem. He fires over to first and gets the out. And that'll be it. Okay, so he gets out of it. Fromber does give up the 1 base runner on a walk, but he's able to come back and get the next batter for the 3rd out of the inning. The inning started off really well for Fromber. He started to lose his control a little bit, then he got it back. And that's going to be it for the Mariners in the bottom of the 3rd. We're going to go in the top of the 4th, guys. And I'm going to mute this right quick because I need to make a call. Yeah, I think I got a call from the International Center, so give me just a moment. It's about my health insurance issue, I think. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I am back. I am sorry about that, but it was a very important phone call related to my health insurance. I'll tell you more about that in just a moment because it is an interesting story. Ball one. Right now, we've got runners on the corners, guys. Yordan Alvarez was walked. Pena had a line drive single. One away, 1-0 to Rogers. That ball's a little inside. Good take by Rogers. 2 balls and no strikes. Castillo is going to have a little meeting on the mound with the catcher. The infield comes in to have a little chit-chat. 3 hits now for the Astros. The Astros threatening to finally get on the board. Rogers with an opportunity right now to continue to be a timely hitter for the Stros this season. Here in the top of the 4th, goose eggs on the board. Okay, Castillo's back on the mound. 2 balls, no strikes to Brendan Rogers. Here comes the pitch. That one's in the dirt. Ball 3, 3-1. Good take. Pena should go right here. He should be able to steal. He might get a green light. We'll see. Here comes the pitch. Oh, it's 3-0. I thought it was 3-1. Well, now it's 3-1 with that pitch. 95-mile-per-hour fastball right down the middle. Oops. There we go. 66 pitches now for Castillo. Here comes the next one. Rogers swings at that one. He fouls it back. Strike 2. Full count. I apologize once again for having to take the phone call, but like I said, that was a very important call. It's about my health insurance. I had a huge event happen yesterday where they canceled. Think about this. They canceled my health insurance here in Japan. Crazy. Pena does steal this time, and it's fouled back. So he will retreat to first base. 96-mile-per-hour fastball on that one. Brendan Rogers hangs on. Man, you look at the back of Pena's legs. Those, was it the glutes? Is that the back muscle? Those are huge. Brendan Rogers fouls that one away again. It's over on the right side, just barely into the dugout. About 4 feet out of the reach of the catcher. He stays alive. He's been fouling off those fastballs right and left. Will Bite says Castillo didn't want anything to do with Yordan there. Yeah, you're right. I wasn't able to call that portion of the game because I was on the phone. But yeah, I saw that. I was updating the information on the screen, though. 69 pitches. This will be the 70th for Castillo. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch to Rogers. Castillo looks around at first base. Here's the pitch. Pena is stealing again. Swing and a miss by Rogers. Pena is able to get second base. But that's out number 2. No throw at all by the catcher. Pena strolls into second, no problem, but Rogers not able to foul that one off. Finally strikes out. 2 away. 2 runners in scoring position, man. A nice single is all Yiner needs right here to give the Astros one, and probably 2 runs. With Pena on second, this probably would be a 2-run single. They're having another meeting on the mound right now to discuss the situation with Diaz. 1 for 8 this season with runners in scoring position. Diaz batting just .065 so far this year. Here's the first pitch. Outside check swing. Did he go? No. Oh. I got another phone call. Gonna have to take it. Sorry, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, everyone, Cam Smith was up to bat with bases loaded, as you probably might know if you were taking a look at the game there. And with bases loaded, he flew out to right field, and that's going to be it for the Astros in the top of the fourth. We're going to the bottom of the fourth. The score is still 0-0. 3 hits for the Astros, 1 for the Mariners. Stranding 3 runners on base are the Astros. I had to take another break because essentially what has happened is that I'm taking a very expensive medication for cancer treatment. I have a large tumor, and so I'm taking a cellular inhibitor. I have to go to the doctor every 4 weeks for more medicine. And my insurance and my status, I have 2 different cards. I have an insurance card here in Japan, which is every adult has to have. And then I have I don't have to have. I have a certificate because of my low income status currently. It reduces the cost even more. And because of these things, I'm able to afford to go to my doctor every 4 weeks and be seen and get the medicines that I need and the treatments that I need. If I don't have that, it costs about $2,400, $2,500 every 4 weeks. You can see that obviously most people can't afford that. Who can afford to spend almost $3,000 a week? A month just on a visit to the doctor for medicine. So, because of my insurance, I pay around $200 a month for my treatment. Yesterday, my insurance was canceled, and my certificate was taken away. And I'm supposed to go to the doctor again tomorrow, and now I can't. If the issue isn't resolved today, then I can't go to the doctor tomorrow. I won't get more medicine. So it's a very important phone call. So I apologize. I had to take that call. Let's see here. Where are we at? The bottom of the fourth, no outs. Rosarina is at the plate facing Valdez, who's about to deliver his 55th pitch of the game. Grounded to the right side, straight at Christian Walker. Tosses it to Fromber, who steps on the base, no problem. 1 pitch, 1 out. Good start to the inning. I don't yet see an email from my hospital counselor. She's looking into this issue for me about my about my health insurance situation. Mitch Garver's at the plate. Here comes the first pitch from Fromber. Good pitch, 87 miles an hour on the outside corner. Diaz didn't frame it up very well, but the umpire liked it, so the count's 0-1. Here comes the next pitch. Almost in the exact same spot, but a little too much curve on that one. Ball 1. One ball, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch. That one's quite a bit outside by about 8 inches or so. Another curveball. Ball 2, 2-1. Some runners left on for the Astros, but otherwise a kind of a quiet game. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. This one's bounced down the third base side. 88-mile-per-hour changeup. Strike 2. And that evens the count. I see the name of this park, T-Mobile Park. And all I have to say is that I'm a little disappointed with T-Mobile because they won't unlock a phone, a used phone that I bought from somebody. It's not blacklisted, but they won't unlock it for me. So it's useless to me. It's hit over on the first base side, a little foul ball by Garver, and it's going to go out of play. Count remains 2-2. 60 pitches now for Fromber Valdez. Two balls, 2 strikes. Mitch Garver at the plate, batting .125 for the season. Valdez has his ERA back down under 3 at 2.93. Here's the next pitch. Right in there, strike 3, 96 in the bottom of the zone. Can't argue with that one. Garver quietly walks away. He knew that that was in there. Another strikeout for Valdez. That brings up Donovan Solano. Next pitch is right in there. Sinker, 93 miles an hour. Strike 1. Here's the next pitch. Swing and a foul ball at the plate. Strike 2. Quickly ahead in the count is Valdez. Anything going on in the chat? Ah, yeah, Willbite, I see your comment. I'll get to that in just a second. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Valdez. So that's hit hard to the left side, but handled cleanly by Paredes, who fires over to first to get the out. And that's going to do it. 3 up and 3 down for Valdez in the bottom of the 4th. But now we go to the top of the 5th. Still tied up at 0. It's all goose eggs right now for this game. Jose Altuve due up, my personal hero. Let me reset all these stats here. We're going into the top of the 5th. There we go. Should be updated on the screen. Willbite says Diaz takes his walk. Yeah, that's about the best that Diaz can do right now, isn't it? He's not hitting breaking balls, and he's not hitting fastballs. So if you can't hit fastballs or breaking balls, then what are you doing? Get your walk. Willbite says, sorry to hear about your cancer. I'm a member of the club as well. It's never fun. It seems like too many people are members of the club, right? I mean, I lost my mom to cancer. I lost an aunt to cancer. My grandmother. Who else? My ex-girlfriend's mother also. And my uncle also had cancer. He's still alive. He's still getting along. But it just seems like too many people. And here in Japan, I have 2 different friends that I met here. One is actually not from Japan. He's from New Zealand. He's fighting cancer. He's been fighting it for several years now. Another friend named Aya. Aya is in Fukuoka City here in Japan. She's also fighting cancer. It started in her chest and her breasts. And she had surgery to actually have them removed. And she's still dealing with that. Plus her mom is sick. I suspect that it's cancer. She hasn't said, but I think it's also cancer. It's like, you know, what's going on? And I believe that our treatments are really wrong. The treatments, the way that they've been treating it, it does a lot more damage to the body than it does good. I don't believe in chemotherapy. I'm not taking chemotherapy. I am taking a cellular inhibitor, a newer medicine that restricts the blood to the tumor, and it helps to starve the tumor. But also I've changed my diet, and I've added some other things to help. And recently I've been having kind of a healing crisis. It's been a really good thing for me. Jake Myers comes to the plate. I'm not sure what's going on here. Umpire walks out, calls time, but now we're good to go. Here comes the first pitch to Myers. He swings on that first pitch, 95 miles an hour, fouls it back. Myers knocking at the door, batting 300. Here's the next pitch. Hits it up the middle. It's going to be backhanded by the second baseman. He's not going to be able to get him. He beats it out. There you go. Myers with an infield hit. I think that's going to put him over 300 on batting average. What a good hit. Right up the middle. The second baseman had to play it backhand and then throw over his shoulder. Myers with an infield leadoff base hit. Most career hits versus Mariners. Altuve's in the top 6. That's hilarious. And he's still playing. Jose Altuve, my hero's at the plate. That one's up and in. He takes that for ball 1. Good take. Whoops. Hit the wrong button there. I changed the score by accident instead of the count. Here comes a pitch to Altuve. That's way inside. Ball 2. A ground out and a strikeout for Altuve today. But he's about to catch on fire right here. That's right. Myers on first base. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch from Castillo. No, he goes over to first base, but Myers is back. Myers does have a stolen base today. Castillo a little concerned about Myers making an attempt for second here. Here comes a 2-0 pitch. Altuve hits that one hard to left field, but it goes foul out into the stands. Man, he got around on that one. That was a 4-seam fastball, and Altuve just ripped it so early, and he broke his bat. Altuve got around on that one like it was nothing. Holy cow, man. If Yainer Diaz could get around on a fastball like that, he would be dangerous. Altuve was all over that pitch, man. I know that was not as fast, but a 93-mile-per-hour fastball, when you get around on it like that and you rip it so early, man. Whew. Next pitch coming in. Altuve hits it out to center field. It looks like it's going to be playable. Center fielder is under it. He has to move around. He's able to get it. Looked like he had a little bit of trouble, but that's going to be out number 1 as Altuve flies out, unfortunately, to center field. 1 away, Myers remains on first. Isaac Paredes comes to the plate, 1 for 2 today with a single. Altuve over 3 today, but still batting .333 for the season. Myers is going for a steal. It looks like he might be... No, he was called out. They call him out. Are they going to take a look at it? It looks like they might have got him on the leg before he got to the base. It was not a great throw, but it looked like it was just good enough to get him on the leg. And that was close, man. That was really close. Let's take a look at this. Well, yeah, he got him before he got there. No challenge there. 2 balls and no strikes on that pitch to Paredes. No runners on, 2 away. Here comes the next pitch. Fouled back, strike 1. Diaz looked like a young Piazza in his rookie season, but his bat has just disappeared this year. Yeah, it's so sad. We had such high hopes for him, and his year last year wasn't bad. But man, so far this year, he's really struggling. He just started missing breaking balls and fastballs. He can't get his bat around on the fastball, and he's not hitting the breaking balls. Strike 2 with that swing and miss on the pitch to Paredes. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Outside. Full up. Will Bite says, surgery, radiation, and chemo felt like I was dying every day, but after it was over, I'm still here 5 years later. I hear that. My mom went through all of that many times. Strike 3. That's going to be it for Paredes. He goes to sit down, and that's the end of this inning. Going into the bottom of the 5th. Mariners due up in just a moment. 4 hits for the Astros, 1 for the Mariners, but nothing on the board for either team. Valdez will be back on the mound in a minute to deliver his 65th pitch. Yeah, my mom actually told me before she passed away, she wished that she had never done any of the chemotherapy treatments. If she could go back and do it all over again, she wouldn't have followed a lot of her doctor's advice. She would have listened to some more options, more natural options and things like that, including some suggestions that I made for her. How many pitches on Castillo? Let's take a quick look. Castillo is actually at a higher pitch count than Valdez. "64 pitches by Framber and 40 strikes. Castillo, 94 pitches. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. 94 pitches, 58 strikes. Castillo might be, I don't know, he might be done at 94 pitches. It could be. We'll see. Framber back up on the mound. He's facing Luke Raleigh. Or Rayleigh? Swing and a miss, 94 sinker right in there. Strike one. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Raleigh. Fouled off. Kind of got Yiner a little bit, but he seems okay. Strike two. 0-2 is the count. Here comes the pitch from Valdez. He didn't bite on that curveball. It was a little low, 80 miles an hour in the bottom. The bottom fell out. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Luke Raleigh, or Raleigh, however you say his name. Here comes the pitch. Has a swing and a tapper down the first baseline, but foul. Count remains 1-2. 10 people watching now. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. We are in the bottom of the 5th with no outs. First batter of the inning is Luke Raleigh. He's got a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch from Valdez. 96 right in the middle of the zone. Fouled away. Count remains 1-2. 1-2. One and two pitch again from Valdez. This one's grounded down the first baseline. This time Walker has it and is able to make the play by himself. And that'll be out number 1. Smooth sailing so far. Nice little ground out. Ryan Bliss is at the plate. First pitch comes in an 82-mile-per-hour slider, fouled away for strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Ooh, man, that should have been a strike right on that outside edge, but the umpire laid off. Maybe the framing. Yiner having to move his glove so much to catch it from where he was. Kind of threw the umpire off. 1-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. That one's hit hard to left field, left center. Altuve goes all the way back. It's going to hit off the base of the wall, and that's a double for Ryan Bliss, who strolls into second no problem. Runner on second with a 1 out. Double off the left center wall by Bliss. Just got a hold of that one. Right off the base of the wall there, as you can see. That brings up J.P. Crawford. Here's the first pitch to him. 94 miles an hour, up and in. Strike 1. A little half swing, like a check swing. But it didn't matter. It was in there. One strikeout today for Crawford. He's 0 for 1. Let's make it over 2. Here comes the pitch. 95 miles an hour in the top of the zone. Another sinker fouled off to the third base side. Strike 2. 0-2 is the count. Will Bite says, what do you think about the Astros pitching losses this week? We got to see some young guys a little early. I'm not surprised. It seems that it happens, you know. Here's the 0-2 pitch. He hits this one way up. Is it going to be playable? Paredes is way over there, and he's able to get it right by the dugout. Good play. Right by the dugout. He puts that away for out number 2. I'm sorry, is that out? No, yeah, that's out number 2. Good job by Paredes to get over there and get that one. They're showing highlights from the Astros' big comeback win against the Rangers a year ago. First pitch is outside to Dylan Moore. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 outs, runner on second. A line out and a strikeout today for Moore. Here comes the next pitch. Whew, just a little high. Ball 2. Barely missed the zone. I know that Arrighetti has got some issues and they got some other guys coming in, but I still don't feel too bad about it. I think that things will be all right. Overall, I'm not really concerned about the Astros pitching. I'm more wanting to put the fire under the butts of the hitters. That's where the Astros are really hurting. They need to be hitting the ball. You got to be scoring runs. It doesn't matter how good your pitchers are. If you have decent pitchers, then you should be able to hit the ball and win some games. But if you have good pitchers, which I believe we do, you should be able to win the majority of your games. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Dylan Moore. That one's hit out to right field. That's all the way down to the wall and barely foul. Whoo, that was close. Right over into the corner. Just barely into the crowd there. That was dangerous. Opposite field hit by Moore. But it will be strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike against Moore. This next pitch will be the 80th pitch of the game for Valdez. I wonder if I have an email. I'll check that during the break. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here comes the pitch. Woo! On the outside. That was a couple inches out of the zone, but the umpire liked it. So the count's even. With that strike call, 2-2. Moore wasn't really happy about that. I wouldn't be either. Moore calls timeout. He's going to scratch at the dirt like a chicken. Buck, buck, buck. That's what it looked like. He just started scratching at the dirt. Okay, he's back in the box. Valdez has the call. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Good pitch. Grounded straight to Paredes. He should have an easy throw to first. It's a little high, but it's no problem for Walker. And that'll be out number 3. Okay. 5 scoreless innings for Fromber. We're going to go into the top of the 6th, still tied up at 0-0. Astros 4 hits, Mariners 2. Valdez with a 2-hit shutout going on through 5 innings, guys. Not a bad outing. Now I can check my delivery and check my email again. Any updates from my hospital? Nothing. Nothing so far. Okay. What about the delivery? Still processing at the post office. I guess it will be delivered this afternoon. That's my guess. I've got a special package going to a special lady that I love very much. And I'm hoping that it will really touch her heart. And that's interesting. I see some of these Astros channels posting videos that pop up while the game is going. It just makes me wonder why. Why would you schedule a video to come up during the Astros games if you're an Astros channel? If you're not covering the game live or doing live commentary, why would you post your video during the game? Why wouldn't you post it before or after? In Japanese, I'd say, "Wakaranai." It just means I don't understand. Yordan Alvarez is at the plate. Here's the first pitch. Castillo is still on the mound. That's a ball inside. They walked Yordan that last at bat. Castillo is up to 95 pitches. Here's the next one. That one's outside, ball 2. First one was inside. This one was outside. 96 pitches now, I'm sorry, for Castillo. He's getting close to 100. Here comes the next one. Oh, that was about 2 inches outside of the zone, but the umpire gave it to Castillo. That'll be strike 1. 2-1 against Alvarez. Yordan 0 for 1 today. He has been walked. Here's the next pitch. Right in there. Alvarez hits it down the left field line and just foul. Rosarina tried to get over there, and he runs into the wall, but nothing doing. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Rosarina ran over there really, really fast, and at the last moment, the ball was right there, and he bumped into the wall, but goes Yordan's way. He'll have another chance here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. High fastball fouled back. Count remains 2-2. 96 miles an hour on that one. This next pitch will be the 100th of the game for Castillo. And here's the delivery. Right in the bottom of the zone, an 88-mile-per-hour changeup, fouled off again by Alvarez. I'm starting to get hungry. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Outside and high. Good take by Alvarez. Full count, 3-2. Mariners do have a guy getting up in the bullpen who's about to get loosened up. He hasn't started tossing yet, but I'm sure he will be in a moment. Here's the next pitch to Alvarez. It's ripped down the third. Oh, I said the third base line. Ripped down the first base side. A line drive bounces in front of the right fielder, and that's going to be a torched single. Whoop, I don't know why I clicked that. And that's going to be it for Castillo. He gets pulled right after that. They're already calling the new pitcher to come in. Castillo's night is over with that single by Alvarez, that rocket single to right field. That's going to be it. Top of the 6th, the Astros have their 5th hit of the game. Let's see if they can actually get some runs on the board. Leadoff batter makes it on. Yordan finally getting a hit this game. Who's listening in? We've got about 11 people following along. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I'm not sure who's replacing Castillo yet, but as soon as I figure it out, I will let you know. Let's see. Let me go back to the game board and see if it's updated. Seattle. Buzzardo. Edward Buzzardo. Edward Buzzardo. Edward Buzzardo. He's going to be replacing Castillo for the Mariners. Okay, there we go. All right, let me get back to my screen here, my game screen. All right, no outs. Jordan on first. Bizardo seems ready to go. He's up on the rubber. He's going to be facing Christian Walker. He's over 2 today. He does have a home run this season, but he's 2 home runs behind Jose Altuve. Even Jordan is a couple of home runs behind Altuve. Here comes the first pitch to Walker. 93-mile-per-hour sinker right in there. That was a good pitch. Don't know why Walker didn't go after it. 2 strikeouts today for Walker. I think that he could probably do something against Bizardo. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fouled back. 94-mile-per-hour sinker right in the zone. Strike 2. Bizardo gets ahead in the count. 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Walker. Way up and high, out of the zone. I said up and high. Up and out is what I meant to say. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. That one's in the dirt. Outside low and in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I would say good take by Walker, but those last 2 pitches were so out of the zone that you'd have to be crazy to swing at them. I say even count. Even count. Here's the pitch. Right up the middle, and that's a ground ball. It's short. Looks like it's going to be a double play ball. Terrible throw to first base, but he scoops it out, and that's going to be a base-clearing double play. Jordan's base hit is eliminated by Christian Walker's double play ball. Jeremy Pena comes to the plate with 2 outs, no runners on. First pitch to Pena is an 82-mile-per-hour slider right in the middle of the plate, and he takes a big hack at it, but can't connect. Strike 1. Man, that was a good pitch to be launching on, too, and he couldn't even get a foul tip. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Wow, a sweeper. They call that a slider. It looked like a sweeper to me. It just moved way out. Big swing and a miss again by Pena. He can't even get the wood on it a little bit. He's behind the count, 0-2. I think I'm going to go grab my peanuts. I really need a snack. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Pena from Bizardo. Way up and out of the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I don't know why I didn't have the outs on the screen. I just changed that. Sorry about that. Here comes the pitch to Pena. In the dirt and outside. This is exactly what he did to Walker. Threw a couple of strikes, and then 1 way up and high, and then 1 in the dirt outside. Exactly the same. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Pena. Here comes the pitch. That one's in the dirt. Ball 3. Good 3 takes by Pena. 2 swings and misses, and then 3 takes. Full count with 2 outs, nobody on. Here's the pitch from Bizardo. Little outside and called a strike. Pena doesn't argue with it. Should have been a ball. Should have been a walk, actually. But we're going to go to the bottom of the 6th as it stands, with the Astros and the Mariners still tied up. It's been a goose egg festival. You could call this an Easter game, because there are eggs everywhere. An Easter game. That's ridiculous. 5 hits and 2 hits. 5 for the Stros. No errors, no runs. Anything going on in the chat? We've got about a dozen people following along on the channel right now. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. I am broadcasting live from Hiroshima Prefecture in Japan. You can see as bright as it is right now. You can see all the light on my face. That's because I'm sitting right next to the window. It's almost 12:30 in the afternoon. It's lunchtime. I'm going to go grab some peanuts right quick. I'll be right back. What just happened? All right, guys, we're back in the bottom of the 6th. Valdez is on the mound facing Julio Rodriguez. The very first pitch, low and away, but fouled off. Nice little change-up by Fromber. 0 for 1 today with a walk and a stolen base is Julio. Next pitch, fouled. No, that's going to be... Oh, barely foul. Woo, look at this. That was almost an infield hit there. Rodriguez bounced it down the third baseline. Pena got over there, and luckily it rolled foul. So that'll be strike 2. Why did I put a ball in there? There's no ball. It's 0-2. Decided to make myself a little tea. No reason to have any more coffee right now. I've had too many cups of coffee. Looking forward to having lunch, though. It's just enough water there. Good. No balls, 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. 83 pitches for Fromber. Here comes the 84th. Right in there, but fouled back. Man, Rodriguez got lucky and got his bat on that one. 95 miles an hour. Excuse me. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Woo! Change up. Bottom fell out of it. Rodriguez didn't go. I munched down a few peanuts right quick, and some of that got caught in my throat. That's no good. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Way inside. Almost hit him. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I just got a message from my favorite girl. I'll have to check that in just a minute. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Bounced. Foul behind the plate. He stays alive. The count remains 2-2. Next pitch will be Fromber's 90th. 2-hit game for Fromber and a shutout. A 2-hit shutout. You couldn't ask for more through 6 innings. No outs right now. He's facing Rodriguez with the 2-2 count. Here's the delivery. That was not a bad pitch. 80-mile-per-hour curveball, low and inside, but Rodriguez, despite going for it, was able to foul it off. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the next pitch from Valdez. Boom! Strike 3. That's what I'm talking about right there. Swing and a miss. What a beautiful pitch by Valdez. Take a look at this. Shoot! Sit down, my friend. Out number 1. Taylor Scott is going in the bullpen for the Astros right now. Kyle Raleigh is up at the plate. He fouls the first pitch off for strike 1. 1 away. No one on base. I was about to say 2 strikeouts. 1 strikeout, 1 ground out for Raleigh today. He's 0 for 2. And here comes the pitch from Fromber. Swing and a miss. 96 mile per hour sinker. Holy cow. That was nasty. Oof. Fromber was smiling after that pitch. Here comes the delivery on the 0-2 count. Swing and a miss, another strikeout. Man, Fromber comes back and he's like, hey, I'm on fire right now. I don't want to come out of this game. We don't need no Taylor Scott. Reliever? What's that? 2 away. Back-to-back strikeouts for Fromber in this inning. His ERA now is down to 2.55, and that next pitch is another strike. He's now facing Randy Arozarena, and that pitch was right in the middle. A sinker, 95 miles an hour. Whoo, he's looking good right now. He's wanting to go out with a bang. Here's the next pitch. This one's grounded to the second baseman, Brendan Rodgers, who picks it up and fires over to first, no problem. And that's going to be it. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. 3 up and 3 down for Fromber. He pitches 6 innings, about 96 total pitches. He's got a shutout going, a 2-hit shutout through 6 complete innings. Excellent performance from Fromber today. We go into the top of the 7th, and we're celebrating Easter here with nothing but eggs on the board. Of course, these are goose eggs, not chicken eggs. Anything going on in the chat? Not right now. Still got about a dozen people following along. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. Astros due up in just a moment. Let's take a quick look. Brendan Rodgers, I believe, will be facing Edward Bizzardo. I got a message from my favorite girl. Apparently she's somewhere today. Where is she? She sent me a message that I don't know all of this kanji. It's in Japanese. She's at City Hall. I see. Give her a quick message. She's asking about my insurance card. All right, Brendan Rodgers is at the plate. He's facing a new pitcher, Colin Snyder. Here's the first pitch. Woo, that was a good sweeper. What a beautiful pitch, man. I have to give credit where credit is due. That sweeper was beautiful. Strike 1 right in there. Here's the next pitch to Rodgers. He fouls that one off. A 93 mile per hour sinker. Strike 2. He's quickly down in the count, 0-2. Here's the next pitch. Woo! A sweeper just a little outside. Good take by Rogers. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two balls and 2 strikes. The count is even. No outs, no runners on. Here's the next pitch. Right in there. That was another good sweeper in the bottom of the zone, but Rogers stays alive by going after that one. He is 0 for 2 today so far. Ground out and a strikeout, but his season average is still 308. Third best average on the team right now. 3 Astros batting over 300 currently. He fouls that one back. The count remains 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. That one's high, 92 miles an hour. Good take by Rogers. He's worked the count back to be full. Come on, Rogers. Show us what you can do. Base hit. Here's the pitch. Boom. No, he fouls it back, or rather towards the first baseline. It looked like it went back, but when they changed the camera angle, it sliced over to the first base side. Goes into the crowd harmlessly. Count remains full. Spencer Arrighetti was originally supposed to be pitching on Friday, but of course there have been some changes because he's going to be out. That's right in there in the bottom of the zone. A check swing, but it didn't matter. That was a good pitch. Rogers strikes out. He's going to go sit down. 1 away, and that brings up Yainer Diaz. Hopefully Yainer can do something. It would be nice to see him get a hit here. There's the pitch to Rogers. He should have gone. Should have committed. Can't let a pitch like that go. When you've got 2 strikes, you can't let a pitch go like that. Here's the first pitch to Yainer. Yainer taps that one foul. That was a sweeper, 83 miles an hour. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 92 mile per hour cutter. A couple of inches outside the zone. Yainer can't get the bat on it. Oh and 2 is the count. Here's the pitch from Snyder. That one's outside, but he takes that one. Good take by Diaz. Here's the next pitch from Snyder. Way inside, almost clipped Diaz. That would have been nice just to get him on the arm. He would have gotten a base on balls. I'd be happy with that. Walks and hit by pitch. For Diaz, that's just fine for me. 2 balls, 2 strikes as it stands, and here's the pitch. This one's hit to the left side. An actual hit by Diaz and a terrible throw over to first base, and he's going to be able to get over to second on a throwing error. How do you like that? Yainer Diaz, get yours. If you're not going to get a good solid hit, you might as well sneak on the base with an error. You may as well. Let's take a look at this again. Whoops. Okay, there's the throw. Look at that. So bad throw. Diaz sees it, runs to second, takes the opportunity. He should have been out by a mile. Nice. 1 out, runner on. Second base. Cam Smith with an opportunity to do something here. He goes after the first pitch, fouls it off. 93 mile per hour fastball. Yainer Diaz, get a walk. Get hit by pitch. Get on with an error. Whatever you got to do, man, just get on the freaking base pads. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Smith. That one's a little inside for ball one. Good take there. Catcher tried to frame it, but the umpire was like, no, I got my eye on that one. Come on, Smith. Let's see you light it up like you did in spring training. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Smith. Ooh, right at the top of the zone. 90-mile-per-hour fastball. Could have gone either way, but the umpire says, I don't know. That's a little high on this guy. Ball 2. 2-1. You can take a look at the placement here on this pitch. That was close. Cam Smith still doesn't have an RBI, but he's got one now. Holy cow, down the third base line. Diaz is rounding third. It looks like that's going to be a double by Smith. This is his first RBI in the major leagues. No, he's going to go for 3. Is he in there? He's safe. A triple for Cam Smith, guys. Cam Smith hits a triple, drives in Diaz, and he's got his first MLB RBI on a triple. On a triple. Man, take a look at this. He just rips it down the third baseline. Right through the gap there, right down the line, all the way out to the wall. They were not playing him over, and he managed to make it all the way over the third. Just barely got in there. Holy cow, that was close. That was awesome stuff right there. Jake Myers is now at the plate. Astros take the lead 1-0. First pitch is a ball. One ball, no strikes. This will be the 20th pitch for Snyder. Here it comes. Swing and a miss on the outside edge. And that evens the count 1-1. Astros finally get on the board, and we have a lead, guys. They are the first to get on. They got a man on third with just one out. An opportunity to increase that lead just a little bit. Here comes the next pitch to Myers. Myers hits it out to right field and pretty deep. Might be a tag. We'll see. Cam Smith goes. But the pit, he should have gone. He didn't go. He went back. I don't know what in the world was going on there. I don't know why they didn't tell him to go. But the pitch was terrible. It bounced off the catcher's glove. If he had gone, he would have been safe by a mile. But they didn't send him. Either he didn't understand to go, or the third base coach didn't tell him to go. But take a look at this. What happened? He should have tagged. He should have gone. He stopped, and then the catch at the plate was, it bounced off the catcher's glove. He would have scored. Myers flies out for the second out. Man. Little meeting on the mound now for the Mariners. They're talking about the next batter, who happens to be my biggest hero, my biggest sports hero of all time, Jose Altuve. The crowd boos, gives him the typical welcome. Fly out in the 5th inning. Over 3 today, but batting .333 for the season with 5 RBIs and 3 home runs. Here comes the pitch. This one's hit a line drive on a short hop to Crawford. He makes a good catch, but a terrible throw to first. Unfortunately, the first baseman also makes a good catch at first base. And that's going to be it for the Astros in this inning. But they managed to take the lead 1-0. I just realized I didn't put the score on the board. And I'll do that right now. What an inning. Pretty interesting stuff right there. What do we have going on in the chat here? We got about 12 people still following along. Thank you for being here wherever you are in the world. Yainer needed that. Yes, he did. I mean, he was assisted by the third baseman, but he did need that. Cam, yes, with the triple. It's so sad they couldn't bring him in. I agree with the commentators that I was just listening to. They said that in a tight game like this, you got to take that chance right there in a close pitching game like we're having right now, you need that extra run. You've got to send the runner, and they didn't. They held him up. But the problem is that fly ball represented the second out. They missed a really good opportunity to score again. If they had sent Cam Smith, then he definitely would have been safe because that throw was so far off the plate. And not only that, the catcher couldn't catch it. It bounced off of his glove. It would have been 2-0 Astros, but as a result, it's just 1-0. Well, at least we got the lead, right? Bottom of the 7th, Astros up 1-0. How many hits for the Astros right now? 6 hits versus the Mariners' 2 hits. Fromber has had a really good day. 6 innings of no-hit ball. I'm sorry, 6 innings of a shutout with 2 hit ball. Eight strikeouts for Fromber. But now his day is finished. Taylor Scott is on the mound for the Astros. First pitch from Scott is in there for a strike. Oh, 0-1. Here's the pitch. Right in there, hit up the middle for a single. Mariners going to have a leadoff runner on that single. After 2 pitches, they've already got a runner on. That pitch was right in the middle of the plate. It looked like a gimme. Can't be pitching like that. Dominic Canzone is pinch hitting. This is actually his first at bat this season. Apparently he was called up from the minors. He'll be facing Taylor Scott. Here comes the first pitch from Scott. Grounded foul. 84 miles an hour on that splitter. Strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Scott. Swing and a miss. A good pitch. A splitter that kind of dropped right below the zone. 0-2. Ahead in the count is Taylor Scott. Canzone is pinch hitting for Solano. And here comes the pitch. Oh, he went around again. Did he go? They say he did. Strike 3. Good pitch right there. That's a strikeout. A 3-pitch strikeout by Taylor Scott. That rookie couldn't handle it. Take a look at this. Whoa. Yeah. Look at this. Yep. Good job by Yiner to not only keep that ball in front of him, but not allow the runner to advance. Next pitch to the plate is to Luke Raley. He's 0-2 today. That one's going to be a ball. A little low and outside. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Runner is going to second. There's a throw, but it's going to be too late. Yiner came up so slow in that, he looked like an old man. I'm not really sure exactly what he was thinking there. He had a really good jump. There was just no way. So, stolen base. 2 balls. I'm sorry, that was a strike. We got a 1-1 count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner on second. And here's the pitch to Raleigh. This one's right in the middle. Grounded. It's knocked down by Christian Walker. The throw comes home, but they're going to score a run. Christian Walker dove for that. It bounced off of his glove, and then it rolled into the outfield. Because of that, the Mariners score a run. Or was that Brendan Rodgers with the layout? Brendan Rodgers laid out to try to catch that, and it bounced off of his glove. Infield hit is probably what it's going to be. Let's take a look at it. Oh, it was Christian Walker. I was right the first time. Yeah, Walker went after it, dove, went off his glove, and the throw came home way too late. The ball skittered into the outfield, and Mariners tie it up. So as soon as the Astros get a run on the board, the Mariners come right back and tie it up. That's ridiculous. Next batter is Ryan Bliss. The very first pitch he gets is a strike. This game is tied 1-1. 0-1 is the count. Here's the pitch from Scott to Bliss. No, he fires over to first. Runner's back. No problem. Pretty sad. Fromberg can't get a win tonight. He's just going to get a no decision. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Another stolen base, it looks like. Another steal. The Mariners are just stealing at will on Yainer Diaz. He's not impressing anybody with his throws to second. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner on second. Yainer hasn't thrown out a single runner. Mariners with multiple steals on Diaz. He's just not coming up fast. Yainer Diaz is going to come out to the mound. Have a little chit-chat with Scott. The crowd boos. Don't know why. If the Mariners did that, they wouldn't care. If the Astros do it, they boo. It's one of those things that the crowds do that doesn't make any sense. Watching from NOLA, thanks for broadcasting. Hey, you're not too far from my hometown, actually. I was born in Shreveport, Louisiana. That's northern Louisiana. NOLA is way down in the south. But I know that area. I was born in Louisiana, spent the first 7 years of my life in Houston, and then moved back to Louisiana with my family later when my dad was looking for work. Swing and a miss by Ryan Bliss. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This game is tied in the bottom of the 7th. Both teams picking up a run. Runners on second with 1 out. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Bliss. That one's way outside. Evens the count, 2-2. I'm a Southwood Cowboy ball. Ha! Southwood! It's not very far from where I lived. I think, if I remember correctly, I was in Wood Forest. That's where I was at when I was a kid. Next pitch. Misses for ball 3. Full count. Yeah, apparently Wood Forest and Southwood are about 15 miles apart. Not too far. Swing and a miss. Good. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He fouled it off. I clicked off the screen just for a second to take a look at something. And as soon as I clicked back, it looked like a swing and a miss, but that was a foul ball. We're going to have another full count here for Ryan Bliss. Here's the pitch from Taylor Scott. Swing and a miss. He got it that time. Swing and a miss on a 85-mile-per-hour splitter. Good pitch. Two outs here in the bottom of the 7th. And it looks like they're going to replace Scott. Who's coming in? It's Magnum P.I., Brian King. I really like Brian King. I like him a lot. So the Mariners have 1 runner on second with 2 outs. They managed to get 1 run on the board. Man. Let's see here. check this message. I need to copy some stuff on the screen right quick and let's send it to somebody. Boom, boom, boom. Copy one more. New copy. Copy, copy, copy. And paste, paste, paste. Okay. Magnum PI. Brian King is now on the mound. He's ready to throw the first pitch. Facing J.P. Crawford. Here comes the first pitch. Little check swing. They say he did not go, but that looked like a strike. Was that not a strike? One ball, apparently. Here's the next pitch. Too far inside, ball two. 2-0 to Crawford. Two 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. A 91-mile-per-hour fastball. Good pitch by King. 2 balls, 1 strike. I don't remember. I only lived there because of the oil field and step pumps. Only went to school there long enough to get kicked out. I hear that. Little high. Ball 3. 3-1. King rubs the ball up a little bit. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Right in the bottom of the zone, 91 miles an hour, but fouled off. Would have been a strike either way. The count is full. 0 for 2 is Crawford today. Full count here. 2 outs, runner on second. Here in the bottom of the 7th, King trying to get us out of the inning. Here's the pitch. Ooh, ball 4, just a little outside, maybe about 3 inches. So runners on first and second. King walks his first batter after a full count. Dylan Moore comes to the plate. 0 for 3 with a ground out. Here's the first pitch. Too far inside and low. 80-mile-per-hour pitch. A little slider. Ball 1. Here's the delivery from King. That one's right in there in the bottom of the zone. Inside low corner, but fouled away by Moore. Strike 1. Dylan, give me more strikes. 1-1 is the count. Here's the pitch from King. Woo! On the outside edge, he gets the call. 91 miles an hour. Nice fastball, just barely on that edge. It could have been called a ball. It was a little outside the zone, but the umpire said, "Me likey." Moore takes a break, steps out of the box for a moment. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count. 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. Tie game, 1-1. Here's the pitch from King. Strike 3, high fastball. King comes in and does it. He walks the first batter, but he comes back with a strikeout. And that's going to end the 7th. After Scott giving up the 1 run. King does his job and ends the inning without any more damage. Excellent stuff. Who's going to be up for the Astros in the next inning? I think what I'm seeing on the screen right... Oh, it just changed. Okay. Isaac Paredes. Okay, yep, that makes sense. I believe that Paredes will be batting first. He's 1 for 3 today, followed by Alvarez and then Christian Walker. Let's update the information on the screen. It's the top of the 8th, guys. 1-1 in this game. Anything going on in the chat? I actually was at school there for the Broken Star years. Bagwell, Biggio, all the B's. I hear that. When I was a kid, I was really into Glenn Davis. If you remember the Big Bopper, Glenn Davis. I collected a lot of his cards and really liked him a lot. I liked the way he waggled the bat in front of the plate like he was blocking the count, the signs the catcher was giving. I thought that was hilarious. Gabe Spear will be in the game now for the Mariners. Gabe Spear. Gabe Spear. What an interesting name. Spear is going to be facing Paredes. Here comes the first pitch from the left-hander, right in the middle of the plate, 95-mile-per-hour sinker, strike one. I'm going to try to get him in the game here. Gabe Spear, there we go. Here's the next pitch, a swing and a miss. That's strike two, 83-mile-per-hour slider. Paredes can't get the bat on it. That's Gabe Spire, by the way. I had the pronunciation wrong. Gabe Spire. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Paredes, and he fouls it off. The 96-mile-per-hour pitch on the outside corner. He puts into the first base side crowd. 1 for 3 today. Paredes started off pretty well. He looked like he was going to have a really good game, and he kind of cooled off after that. Here's the next pitch. That one's hit pretty hard to left field. Left center, it's all the way out to the warning track, but should be playable, and it is. As the left fielder makes the play, and that'll be out number 1. Paredes goes down with a nice drive. If he had been able to pull that one and not get underneath it so much, it could have been a home run. Speaking of home runs, Yordan Alvarez comes to the plate. He had a nice single earlier, really hard hit single. He's 1 for 7 versus this pitcher with 1 home run. Here's the first pitch. 96 right in there. A sinker taken for strike one. No balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Another 96-mile-per-hour fastball right in there. That's going to be 0-2 after that foul off. How is this game going to come out today, guys? Top of the 8th, 1-1 with 1 out. Nobody on base right now. Here's the pitch to Alvarez. High fastball, but taken for ball 1. 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. That one's hit through the right side, but it's backhanded by the second baseman, who stumbles when he throws the ball, but he's ultimately able to make the play. So Yordan will be out. 2 away. That was a crazy looking play there. It would have been nice for him to mess up that throw, but he was able to hang in there and make it. 2 up and 2 down. Christian Walker comes to the plate. 0 for 3 today. Nothing doing except a couple of strikeouts. Here's the pitch from Spire. Fouled away. 96-mile-per-hour fastball. No one in the bullpen for the Astros. Seems that Brian King will stay in the game for them in the bottom of the 8th. 0-1 is the count against Walker. Here comes the 10th pitch from Spire. High and outside. 95 miles an hour, ball 1. Yeah, for sure, says Bubba. 1-1. Here's the pitch to Walker. Walker hits that one kind of hard out to center field. It's all the way out to the warning track. Man, that's a deep hit, but it's playable. He gave that one a ride. 400 feet. If he had pulled it, once again, if he had pulled it, we can only speculate. We can only imagine what that could have been. Out number 3. That's it for the Astros in the top of the 8th. Nothing doing. Mariners will come up to bat in the bottom of the 8th with a tie ball game, 1-1. I'm going to go get some more hot water. I'll be right back, guys. I need to check my mail right quick because I want to see if I've gotten a response from my hospital. I got some new subscriptions. Willbite, you subscribed. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Always nice to have some extra subscribers, especially some seemingly nice people like yourself. John Wiggle, or Weigel, has also subscribed. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I still haven't received any information from my hospital counselor yet, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to go to my appointment tomorrow. I may have to cancel. There's no way I can afford to pay over $2,000 for medicine. Not for a 4-week supply. All right. Brian King is back on the mound. He's facing Julio Rodriguez. He takes the first pitch for a strike. 92-mile-per-hour fastball right in there. Good pitch by King. Next pitch is fouled off. Slider, 79 miles an hour. King is ahead in the count, 0-2. Here comes the next pitch from King, just a little high and outside, about 6 inches out of the zone, ball 1. 92-mile-per-hour fastball. King operating quickly as usual. Here's the next pitch. Ooh, right on the top of the zone. 92 at the very top of the zone. Just clipped the edge, but called a ball. Whew, that was a beautiful pitch. 2-2 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Fouled back. Nice slider with a lot of movement, 80 miles an hour. Rodriguez is able to get a piece of it and foul it back. Gusto is in the bullpen for the Astros warming up, and the Mariners also have a pitcher warming up. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to Pena, who grabs it on the hop, fires it to first, no problem. That's going to be out number 1. Good job by Pena. Foundational play. Get it on the hop. Make a good throw to first. Here's the first pitch to Cal Raleigh. Swing and a miss on a 92-mile-per-hour fastball. Slightly outside the zone. Good pitch by King. Rosarena is on deck. Here's the next pitch to Raleigh. Woo! That one bounced off the mask of the umpire. They check on him. He seems all right. No problem. Well protected there. No balls and 2 strikes for King. Gets ahead of Raleigh. 2 hitters in a row. Started off with the 0-2 count. Now King can come up with whatever magic he wants to get this 3rd strike and 2nd out. Here's the pitch. That one's outside by more than a foot. Ball 1. 92-mile-per-hour fastball. Cal Raleigh is 0 for 3 today. Here comes the pitch. That one's on the outside and hit into the gap into right center field. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Extra bases for Cal Raleigh. He's not very fast, so he's not going to be able to get past second base, thankfully. But that's an unfortunate hit off of King after getting ahead in the count. The count was just 1-2. I think that he got a little lucky there. That was a tough pitch. Wow. How do you like this for a stat? That's the first hit that anybody has gotten off of King so far this season. First pitch to the next batter, Randy Rosarena. A little inside and low for ball 1. Ooh, the next one was also inside, right on the edge of the zone, but called a ball. King moving quickly. Here's the 3rd pitch. Way high. Wow, 91 miles an hour, a good 2 feet out of the zone. Yiner had to quickly stand up to get it. He comes out and he tells King to calm down a little bit. 3-0 is the count to Rosarena. Runner on second with 1 out. Here's the pitch. That one's in there. 90 miles an hour on the inside corner fastball. Strike 1. Rosarena was taking that all the way. Three one's the count. Here's the pitch. High 4-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour, foul back. Now the count is full. Gusto still warming up in the bullpen. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 26th pitch of the game for King. Strike 3. Got the strikeout. Out number 2. He started the count 3-0. Came back to strike him out. Take a look at this. High fastball, and Rosarena goes after it, and he just couldn't handle it. Look at that. Perfect. Mitch Garver comes to the plate with 2 outs. First pitch to him is just a little low below the zone, a slider, 79 miles an hour, ball 1. Here's the next pitch from King. Woo, good pitch, 79 mile per hour slider, finds its way into the bottom of the zone, strike 1. Beautiful pitch, started way outside, came back into the bottom middle of the zone, beautiful. Here's the 1-1 pitch. King takes a look around second. Here's the delivery. Ooh, barely inside. 92 mile per hour fastball. There was too much movement on it. Yiner couldn't frame it up. 2-1. Here's the next pitch to Garver. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 30 pitches now for Brian King. Come on, Mr. Magnum PI. Let's see that Magnum here. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Strike 3, another strikeout for Brian King. He continues to show me why I like him so much. He gets the job done. One lucky hit in the game against Brian King. That's my opinion. On that double out to the wall. But he struck out these batters, these other batters, like they were just nothing. I keep clicking the wrong buttons on my screen. I'm trying to... There we go. I'll get it right now. Man. We're going into the top of the ninth, guys. Top of the ninth. 1-1. This game is tied. It hasn't been... Actually, it has had some exciting moments. Much more exciting than a normal 1-1 game. Glad to be back with y'all, Stros. Thank you so much, Caesar. It's nice to see you again. Thank you for coming back. 24 people listening in or watching right now. That's a sudden jump. Last time I looked, it was 12. It hasn't been as high as 20 yet this season. Last season, by the time we got to the final games, I was getting over 50, 55 viewers per game. I expect that it will also increase a lot in the coming games. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing more and more of you here and seeing your chats and what you think about what's going on. Oh, I need to change. That's the top of the ninth. There we go. Sorry about that. Had to update that on the screen. It was showing the bottom of the ninth, but it is the top of the ninth. Astros 1, Mariners 1. Who's coming up to bat? It looks like it's going to be Jeremy Pena against Carlos Vargas. Carlos Vargas. Here's the first pitch from Vargas. Pena takes that low and outside for ball 1. Good take by Pena. Next pitch, Pena takes that for ball 2. Good eye by Pena. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Way outside, ball 3. We might have a leadoff walk. That's what I want to see. I want to see Pena on base. He's 1 for 3 today. I wouldn't mind him getting a hit, but man, if he just gets on base, we got somebody who can run. Here's the pitch, right in there, 96 in the bottom of the zone. It looked like he wasn't going to be swinging at all on that one. 3 balls, 1 strike. He calls timeout. And then he steps back into the box. He's ready to go. Vargas gets the call. Here comes the pitch. Ooh, right in the bottom of the zone again. Pena takes a 96-mile-per-hour pitch. A sinker. Perfect pitch to be hitting. He just let it go. Now the count is full. Here comes the 3-2. 97 sinker on the outside corner, swing and a miss. So Pena misses his opportunity on the good pitches and then goes after the pitch on the outside. Very difficult to hit. That's going to bring up Brendan Rodgers to the plate. Here's the pitch. 96 miles an hour in the upper left part of the zone, outer part of the zone. 0-1 is the count. Strikeout today in the 7th inning. He's over 3 so far. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Vargas. This one's tapped to the shortstop. He scoops it up, fires over, makes the play, and that'll be out number 2. So here in the ninth inning, the Astros have one more chance to put something up. Yainer Diaz comes to the plate. He did walk and had a kind of an error. He got on base with an error. Let's see what he can do this time to get on base. Low and away for ball one. Good take. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Way outside again. 2 balls, no strikes. Yainer, get on base however you can. Stick your arm out. Get hit. Get a walk. Get on base because of an error. I don't care. Just do something. This one's hit up the middle. It's a bouncer to the second baseman. He fumbles it for a second, but he's able to make the play. So he grounds out for the 3rd out of the inning. That's going to be it for the Astros in the 9th. 3 up and 3 down for the Mariners in that inning. We're going into the bottom of the 9th, guys. The Mariners are going to have the chance to steal it away from the Astros. One to one. 6 hits for the Stros, 5 hits for the Mariners. As the game has progressed, the Mariners have gotten more and more hits. After Fromber came out, they managed to get a run. We are all tied up at a massive score of 1 to 1. Man. Woo! What is it, Wednesday today? Yeah, it's Wednesday here in Japan. You guys think this is going to be one of those really long extra inning games, 1 to 1? We'll see, huh? Seems I have some messages. Nothing important. Just some random advertising messages from the electric company and Mercari. Nothing really worth looking at. Is Brian King still on the mound? Or is it Gusto? Oh, it's Josh Hader, guys. Josh Hader's on the mound. Even though the Astros are tied 1 to 1, they've decided to go with Josh Hader. Okay. Let's see what we can do with Hader on the mound. Can the Astros shut him down right here and then come back and get some runs in the 10th? We'll see. Dominic Canzone, or Canzone, how do you say his name? He's at the plate. He takes the first pitch, 80 miles an hour on the outside corner for a strike. Good pitch from Hader. 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss, 81 miles an hour below the zone. Good pitch by Hader. I think this is only Canzone's second at bat in the MLB. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Hader. Low and away. Canzone holds up, ball 1. It's interesting that they bring Hader in right now, with the game tied in the 9th. I guess they really want this win. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. Way outside and in the dirt. And that slider. The count is even 2-2. Hope at least one. Hope at least one. Here's the next pitch. Right in there, strike 3. Calzone knew that was a strike. He instantly walked away. As soon as that pitch came in, look at this. Boom, strike 3. He just walked away. He's like, yeah, that's a strike. Didn't even complain about it. 1 away. Luke Raley comes to the plate, facing Josh Hader. Here's the first pitch. Woo, strike. Low and inside. Yainer had to move to catch that one, but the umpire got it. It was in there. 0-1. 1 for 3 today is Raley with a single. Here's the pitch. This one's hit to the right side. A harmless ground ball. Walker stumbles but is able to get to the bag just in time. Man, that was close. Walker was going to take it himself, but he fell down and had to gather himself, but he was able to get to the bag and beat Raley for out number 2. That could have been bad. Let's take another look at that. You can see how close this was. Lucky. 2 away. Ryan Bliss is at the plate, takes the first pitch in the bottom of the zone, 94-mile-per-hour sinker for strike 1. Bliss is 1 for 3 today. He did have a double to the wall earlier in the game. Check swing, did he go? And they say no, he did not. That'll be ball 1. The count is even, 1-1. 2 away, no runners on in the bottom of the 9th. Here's a pitch from Hader. Swing and a miss. Good pitch on the outside corner. 94 miles an hour. Now Hader is ahead in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We are 1 strike away from extra innings. Ten pitches now for Hader. Here comes the 11th. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Hader comes in and sits them down. 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go into the 10th inning, guys. Extra innings for the Astros and the Mariners. Man, Hader just blew the doors off these guys. Good job. Top of the 10th coming up, Astros and Mariners. Extra innings, 1-1 in this high-scoring affair. Are you guys dizzy from all the hits and all the runs that have been happening in this game? 21 people listening in or following right now. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. Let me make sure my information on the screen is updated. Should be the top of the 10th. And it is. Everything is correct. Let's see. Who's the pitcher going to be for the Mariners? Is it still going to be Vargas, or do they have somebody else? Let's see. Right now on the screen it still lists it as being Vargas, but that might change. Let me check. Nope, Munoz is coming into the game. Andre Munoz. Let me change that. Andre Munoz. Okay, there we go. We got it updated. Let me move his name over a little bit, get that centered up. Cam Smith's triple. Little highlight for you. All the way out to the wall. They played him so far over. They weren't expecting him to get around on that, but he burned them because of it and got a nice triple. Scored the Astros' one and only run. First and only run of the game so far. 1-1. Andre Munoz on the mound facing Cam Smith, who's 1 for 3 today with that triple. I'm sorry, not Cam Smith. Victor Caratini is pinch hitting for Cam Smith, and that's a strike in there for an 0-1 count. That's interesting. The Astros have a runner on second because it's extra innings. Swing and a miss by Caratini. Chas McCormick is on second base. 0-2 count against Caratini. He calls for timeout. McCormick is in the game for Diaz. Caratini is in the game for Smith. He's down 0-2 in the count. And here's the pitch from Munoz. Right in there, 97 miles an hour. Caratini swings, but he can't get the wood on it. That's out number 1. Runner remains on second. Jake Myers comes to the plate, batting .304 for the season. Stellar. Only Altuve has a better batting average right now. Here comes the pitch to Myers. In the dirt. Why did he swing at that one? Holy cow, what are you doing? I got to show this one to you. Take a look at this. What are you doing on that one, Myers? 0-1 is the count. Man, are you golfing? Who do you think you are, Phil Mickelson? Going into the dirt like that? Here's the 0-1 pitch. Oh, that was high in the zone and hit out to right field, but it's going to be way too shallow for any kind of tag. Out number 2 as they put that one away. No problem. But that brings up Jose Altuve. If anybody can get it done, Altuve can. And now's the time to do it. The crowd is booing. Let's give them a gift. 0 for 4 today. Let's make it 1 for 5 and shut up this crowd, Altuve. Here's the pitch. That's hit up the middle, and it's going to bounce off the bag. Altuve's going to be safe at first. Luckily, he was able to get that ball for the Mariners, because that definitely would have been a run scored. But because he was able to grab it, that ball, he saved a run. I mean, look at this. It hit the bag. Altuve winds up being safe at first with an infield hit. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. But man, Mariners dodged a bullet there. Altuve with the hit up the middle. That brings up Isaac Paredes, who had a single early in the game. His first couple of bats, he looked really sharp. He's been so-so since then, but he takes that first pitch for ball 1. Let's see if he can get a single or a big hit here. He's capable. Here's the pitch. High. Altuve takes second base. No throw. Catcher drops that one. And Altuve helps himself to second base. 2 balls and no strikes to Paredes. Yordan Alvarez on deck. Runners on second and third. Here's the pitch. Oh, it's hit hard to left field. Is it? No! Line drive straight to the left fielder. Man, that pitcher, as soon as Paredes hit it, that pitcher went down and crouched like he was like, oh my God. But it went straight to the left fielder. Fly out number 3. As soon as I saw that pitcher go down, I thought that ball was gone because of his reaction, but it went straight to the left fielder. Paredes gave it a strong ride, but it was a line drive shot straight to where the left fielder was playing. He just happened to be in the right spot. How unlucky. So we're going to go to the bottom of the 10th, still tied 1-1. Josh Hader apparently is still going to be in the game for the Astros. They had nobody warming up in the bullpen. Am I getting another call? Yes, I am. Hang on a second, guys. I'm going to have to mute this and take this call. Who's calling? Moshi moshi. Oh, everybody calling me during the game today. That was about my internet access out at my house in the countryside. Man, why did they call me during the game? Right during the game. Up and out of the zone. Okay, let's get caught up here. Let's get caught up. One away. The base runner is on second. 1-1 against Dylan Moore. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hader is on the mound for the Astros. Here's the 18th pitch for Hader. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 83 miles an hour on that slider. Low and inside. Dirty pitch as Moore goes after it. Gets nothing but oxygen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Moore. Long delay by Hader. Now here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout. Hader sits down Moore with another strikeout. That's 4 strikeouts by Hader between last inning and this one. He's pitching fire right now. Out number 2. I think Julio Rodriguez is coming to the plate right now. Man. Hader giving us a nice solid 2 innings so far. Just one more out to go. Here's the first pitch to Rodriguez. Fouls that one back. 95 right in the middle of the zone. All he can do is put it on the back screen. 3 for 4 today. No, I'm sorry. Not 3 for 4 today. He's 3 for 4 versus Hader in his career. Rodriguez. He's over 3 today. Let's make it over 4. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Too far inside by a good foot. 95 mile per hour fastball. Or sinker, rather. 1-1. I just had another phone call, but I'm trying to get my internet transferred out to my house in the countryside, but they just told me it's not available out there right now. Hit out to right field. McCormick is underneath it. No problem, and that's out number 3. 2 perfect innings so far for the Astro reliever. Sure that he's done for the night. But he did his job. He gave the Astros 2 solid innings. Pitched around 20 pitches total, maybe 22, somewhere in there. Shut the Mariners down completely in the 9th and in the 10th. Oof. Yordan Alvarez is due up to bat, guys. Yeah, that's right. Yordan Alvarez. He could give the Astros another 1-run lead with one swing of the bat. Let's see what he'll be doing. Since he doesn't have anybody on base in front of him, he might be swinging for the fence. 26 people following along right now. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. It's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in Hiroshima. Is Munoz still in the game? We'll see. I don't see a change yet on the screen, but we'll see in just a moment. 1-1, 7 hits for the Astros, 5 hits for the Mariners, 1 error for the Mariners. Yordan 1 for 3 today. Yeah, they got a new pitcher, Jesse Hahn. Jesse Hahn. I'm going to change the picture on the screen to Jesse. Astros get their pinch runner on the base on second because we were in extra innings. They're going to intentionally walk him. Alvarez goes to first base. They don't want to have anything to do with him, even though he hasn't been doing well so far this year. They still don't want to pitch to him. So the Astros have runners on first and second with no outs. Christian Walker comes to the plate. Top of the 11th. Walker hits it to the mound, and it's going to advance both runners. So Yordan moves up to second. Dubon moves over to third. That was a nice little unintentional sacrifice. Jeremy Pena comes to the plate with runners on second and third, guys. Just 1 out, no double play ball on the field. They're going to walk Pena. They're going to put Pena on. They're going to load the bases. They're loading the bases for Brendan Rodgers, guys. Bases are loaded for Brendan Rodgers. He's 0 for 4 tonight with a ground out. This is an opportunity for him to do something big. Here's the pitch. 83-mile-per-hour sweeper misses high and outside. Good take. Man, I can't believe they've done this. Load up the bases with 1 out. Brendan Rodgers, 1-0. Here's the pitch from Hahn. Swing and a miss, low and inside, 96-mile-per-hour sinker. The count is even, 1-1. All we need is a simple base hit. Or a walk. Seems it would be much easier to get a base hit than a walk, though. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Rodgers. Oh, he almost got hit. That was close. Look how close that was. Woo! 2 balls and 1 strike. Whew, that was almost a bases loaded hit by pitch. That would have scored a run. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Hahn. Low and away. Ball 3. Who's warming up? Who's warming up in the Astros bullpen? It looked like Gusto. We'll see. 3 balls and 1 strike with 1 out. Bases juiced. Brendan Rodgers up to bat. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Hahn. Right in the middle, grounded down the third baseline. He bobbles the ball. He tries to throw it over to first. What a play by the third baseman. How in the world did that happen? He got the double play by stepping on the third base. He bobbled the ball, stepped on third, and then made the play at first base by throwing it to first. Look at this double play. He knocked the ball down, grabbed it again, stepped on the base, fired it to first, got the double play. The Astros come away with nothing. Man, what an unlucky break for the Astros right there. They strand 3 runners. What an unlucky break. Bases loaded with 1 out, guys. 1 out, and couldn't get even 1 run. That was really disappointing. 32 people following along right now. I am sorry to relay that information to you. I'm sure that that's not what you wanted to hear. And the top of the 10th. I'm sorry, the top of the 11th. But we're going into the bottom of the 11th now. The game's still tied 1-1. Astros missed the biggest opportunity they've had so far. And I'm really wanting to get myself some lunch. It's 1:45 now. This game has been going for over 3 hours, and I'm really hungry. I'm looking forward to eating. I want the Astros to win this game and give me the opportunity to go cook myself some lunch. I can check my email again, see if I've heard anything from my hospital, and I have not. I'll refresh the screen just in case. Nope. No message. Gusto is indeed on the mound for the Astros. He will be pitching the bottom of the 11th. If he holds the Mariners here, he might be back, most likely, in the 12th inning. Runner on second base. As per the extra innings rules, Gusto facing Kyle Riley, but he steps off the mound. He says there's an issue with the pitch comm. So he and the umpire will go out and take a look at it. Kyle Riley is at the plate. He's 1 for 4 today. Mariners have their given runner on second with no outs. I don't know why I had 2 outs on the screen. That was incorrect. It's no outs. Here's the first pitch from Gusto. Right in the middle, 93 fastball. Doesn't get any better than that. Strike 1. Riley just takes it. Couldn't have been more perfect. Not really. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Another fastball in the upper part of the zone, but fouled back by Raleigh. Strike 2. Jumps ahead in the count. Diaz, Paredes, Cam Smith all out of the game for the Astros right now. Maybe the guys that replaced him can do something. We'll see. 0-2, here's the pitch. Right in there. Hit to the left side. Is it going to be playable? No, it's going to go into the crowd. Count remains 0-2. What are you having for lunch? Caesar, I am doing the keto diet, so I'm going to have a salad with some yellow mustard topping, as well as a few sausage links, some long strip bacon, some cheese. That's pretty much it. That pitch is way outside for ball one. Not even a competitive pitch. It'd be nuts to swing at that one. One ball, two strikes to Raleigh. Here's the pitch from Gusto. That one's in the dirt. Kind of a wild pitch. Holy cow. How in the world did Yainer catch that one? I'm sorry, Caratini. Yainer's out of the game. Caratini made an amazing catch there. How in the world did he catch that? He keeps the runner on second. Good catch. Whew. Take a look at this catch by Caratini. Look at that, man. That's pro right there. Whew. This one's hit hard to left field all the way out to the warning track. Altuve grabs it. He throws to third. The runner is going to tag, and he's going to get there no problem. So the Mariners do get their runner over to third. Sacrifice fly by Raleigh. One away. Randy Arozarena comes to the plate to face Gusto. I might also have some tuna, Caesar. I have some canned tuna. I might make some of that. Ooh, he almost takes off Rosarena's head with that pitch. Ball one. One ball, no strikes. One out. Runner on third. Here in the bottom of the 11th. Gusto trying to get through this inning and move the Astros into the top of the 12th. Let's see. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Arozarena. Ooh, just a little outside. Ball two. 94 mile per hour sinker. Just missed by a couple of inches. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Gusto comes set. And the delivery. High fastball fouled back. Strike one. Everybody playing over on Arozarena. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Gusto. Swing and a miss on the inside corner. Beautiful pitch. 93 miles an hour, right on the inside. A big hack, but a complete miss. Take a look at this. Nice. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gusto evens the count. Here's the pitch. High and inside again. Once again, very close to Arozarena's head. That's 2 high and inside pitches that Arozarena had to get out of the way of. Okert is warming up in the bullpen already. So it looks like they might not be going with Gusto for extended period. We'll see. Yainer, I'm sorry, he's out of the game. Caratini calls a timeout and runs out to the mound. Crowd boos. Be quiet. Stop booing over ridiculous things. The infield is in to have a little meeting on the mound and discuss what their next move is going to be. It's a full count with 1 out and runner on third to Randy Arozarena. Astros break up their little powwow. Gusto comes set. And here's the 3-2 pitch. In the dirt, ball 4. That'll be a walk for Rosarena, and runners are on the corners. Mitch Garver comes to the plate. He's 1 for 3 today with a single. He was also hit by a pitch. I believe that was by Fromber. Rosarena probably will be trying to steal here, and they're discussing, I would imagine, what they're going to do in the attempt, and in the event that he makes an attempt to steal. Here's the first pitch. Fouled back, 94-mile-per-hour fastball. Strike 1 on Garver. Runners on the corners with 1 strike and 1 out. Here's the pitch to Garver. Woo, good pitch. 83-mile-per-hour sweeper. Garver looked like he wanted to go, but he held back. And Gusto got the strike. He's up in the count now, 0-2. Beautiful pitch there. Gusto comes set. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Right down the middle. Ground ball could be a double play. Pena throws to second. Over to first. They've got it, guys. We're going to go to the next inning. We've got another inning of double. We've got another inning of extra innings. Another inning of extra innings. I'm trying to do 2 things at the same time. I'm trying to change my stats on the screen and trying to talk at the same time. But I think everything is updated now. We're going into the top of the 12th. Astros pitching still getting it done, giving the hitters an opportunity to put some runs on the board. I believe that Chas McCormick is going to be up. He's batting .250 right now. Another player who's managed to raise his batting average up a little bit. He hasn't had a lot of at-bats, but .250 is good for McCormick. He's going to be followed by Victor Caratini and then Jake Myers. Let's see if we have a pitching change for the Mariners. Right now it still says Han, but that might be changed. If it is, I will update it. Astros, I don't know if they're going to go with Gusto or not. Ryan Gusto. Yeah, I don't have Ryan Gusto in here yet. I'm going to go ahead and put him on the screen, even though he might not be in the game next, because Hader is definitely not in the game. There we go. Don't know yet who's going to be in the game for the Mariners, but we'll see. Runner on second. Apparently Han is still in the game. There hasn't been a change there. Brendan Rodgers is on second base, and Chas McCormick is at the plate. Here's the first pitch to McCormick. He shows bunt, and he does bunt it. He gets the runner over to third. They're going to throw him out at first. Not a really good throw by the pitcher, but gets it done. A sacrifice by Chas to move that runner over. Now the Astros have Brendan Rodgers on third. With 1 out. A little small ball to move the runner into a more scoreable position. And the Batman himself, Victor Caratini, comes to the plate. Here's the first pitch. 79-mile-per-hour curveball. How do you take pitches like that? I loved those pitches when I was playing baseball. You have so much time to make that swing. I just took it. 0-1 is the count. Here's the pitch from Hahn. Long pause, though. Another curveball. He hits it to the opposite side. The Astros are going to score a run. Victor Caratini with the opposite field hit right through the hole. Brendan Rodgers trots home. The Astros are up 2-1. There we go. The Batman comes through. Victor Caratini, our very own Batman. 2-1 finally here in the 12th inning. The same exact pitch that he took right before that, and I was wondering why in the world did you take that? He goes after it on the second pitch and puts it through the left side. Good job. Myers comes to the plate. First pitch is a strike. 0-1 with one out and Caratini on first base. 8 hits now for the Astros in this game through 12 innings. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Hahn. Way outside, ball 1. The count is even. Bubba says, yeah! The home audience has to boo the little things. Yes, they always do. I really wish they wouldn't. It's so stupid. They boo things that are no reason to be booing. That have no reason to be booing. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Myers. 82-mile-per-hour sweeper. A swing and a miss by Myers. The count is 1-2. Oker is still warming up in the pen, so it looks like Gusto will be out in the next inning. Okert has been warming up since last inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jake Myers. Here's the pitch. Little check swing. Did he go? They say he didn't. Good hold by Myers. The count is even, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, runner on first. Astros up 2-1 here in the top of the 12th. Here's the pitch to Myers. Oh, Myers takes strike 3. That's right down the middle. You can't argue with that one. Caught looking. Myers caught with his pants down. 2 away. That's going to bring up Altuve. Man, I always love to see Altuve get home runs, of course, but a 2-run shot right here would just make me extra happy. In Seattle, of all places. I'm not sure exactly what was going on there. It was some kind of timeout on the field. Altuve is 1 for 5 today with a single and a stolen base, so he does have a hit. Batting .340 for the season. Here's the first pitch to him. He takes that one, actually, 96 miles an hour on the outside edge for strike 1. I'm surprised he didn't swing at it. It was in there. I would love for this crowd to sit here for 12 innings and then see this game end with a 2-run shot from Altuve. Come on, let's put the pain on them. Altuve shows bunt for some reason, but that ball's outside. 1-1. Maybe he was trying to bring the infielders are playing way back. That's probably why. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Altuve. A balk. Hahn stumbles off the mound. Look at that. He stumbles off the mound, and that's going to be a balk. That sends Caratini to second base. That was strange. Let's take another look at that. Yeah, he slipped off the rubber. Wow, that's interesting. They're going to go ahead and intentionally walk Altuve after that balk. They're going to put Altuve on first. Caratini's on second. Mauricio Dubon comes to the plate, and he'll have runners on first and second. This is Dubon's first bat of the game. Interesting. This has become a very interesting inning. Some strange things going on here. Good bunt by McCormick to move the runner over. A well-timed hit by Caratini opposite field. A balk. An intentional walk to Altuve. And now Mauricio Dubon comes to the plate with an opportunity to tack on some more runs with 2 outs. Here's the first pitch to him. That's way outside for ball 1. Pretty interesting stuff. Dubon is not doing so well so far this year with his batting average under 100. Hit here would really help him out. Here's the pitch from Hahn. Right in there and fouled away by Dubon. 1-1. Sounds delicious getting out of work and hungry. Yeah, man, I'm hungry, and this is, I guess you could say it's work for me. The home audience has to, yeah, we got that? Yeah, Bubba says, yeah, doing things like mound visits and stuff happens at every stage. It's basically tradition. Yeah, I just think it's silly. I never do that. I never participate in booing over stuff like that because it's part of the game. High and outside for ball 2, 2-1. I don't really consider it tradition. I just consider it silly. 2 balls and 1 strike to Dubon. Here comes the pitch. Right in there, and he fouls it off. Man, he could have gotten around earlier on that one. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That was right in the middle of the plate. He just got around too late. 20 pitches now for Hahn. Come on, we could really use a little insurance here, a little extra padding for this lead. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Mauricio Dubon. Strike 3 right in there, yeah. He's hoping that would be called a ball, but that was in there, right on the inside corner. Good pitch by Hahn. Can't say anything about that. We're coming up on the bottom half of the 12th inning, guys. Astros took the lead. 2-1. Mariners will be due up in the bottom of the 12th. Hopefully the Astros can shut them down. It's looking like the Astros are going to have a pitching change with Okert. Let's see if I can find Okert's picture. I think I just found it. Steven Okert. I'm going to go ahead and change it because I think that they are going to pull him in. He's been warming up. It looks like he's going to be their save guy. There we go, and updated. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, it's updated now. We're good to go. Did I forget to change it to the bottom? Okay. No, I just need to refresh my screen, I think. Yeah, that's right, bottom of the 12th. Everything's correct. I mean, it happens at Dyking Park. Yeah, it does. I wish the Astros fans would be better than that. I wish they would all just collectively realize it's stupid to boo stuff like that. Our team does it. All teams do it. And it's necessary to do it sometimes. To just walk out to the mound and have a mound meeting or whatever. Or give the bullpen guy a little time to warm up. This is just part of the game. So, to me, it's like booing because, a player on the field is injured or something, and he needs a little time to walk it off or whatever, and then the crowd booing. Why would they boo for that? It's just part of the game. All right, here we go. Stephen Oakert is on the mound. His first pitch to him is on the way. 90, or from him is on the way. 91 miles an hour, strike one. Good pitch. Right in there. The Mariners get the extra innings runner on second. Miles Mastrobuoni is the batter. Oakert is a left-hander facing a left-handed batter. And here's the pitch. 92 just above the zone, fouled away, strike two. So he gets ahead in the count very quickly. All right, here we go. 0-2 pitch. Woo, just a little outside. 82 mile per hour slider missed by about half a foot. Man, I need to get up and get moving around. I don't need to sit for this long. Ground ball to the second baseman. Brendan Rodgers picks it up and fires over to first for the first out. The second base runner moves over to third, but that will be one away. Luke Raley comes to the plate, 1 for 4 today. He has the only RBI for the Mariners today. Here's the first pitch from Oakert to him, way outside by a good foot. Ball one. One and 0. Here's the pitch from Oakert. Little check swing. Low and outside. Of course, the crowd is going to boo again because Caratini runs out to the mound to have a quick meeting. And so the crowd boos again. 2 balls and no strikes to Luke Raley. Two and 0. Here's the pitch. Right in there. Good pitch. 79 mile per hour slider. Swinging a foul ball off of Caratini. 2-1 is the count now. 57 listening in. Wow, that shot up suddenly. I guess everybody's very interested in what's going on with this game. Wherever you're at, thank you for being here. Make sure you remember to put a like on the video. With 57 people following, I should have a lot more than 12 likes. That one is outside again for ball 3. 3-1 is the count against Luke Raley. Oakert comes set. He's got the call. Here comes the pitch. That one's in there and right in the middle of the zone. Another slider fouled back. Full count. We really need this out. Here comes the pitch. Got him. Strike 3. Good pitch. That was nice. Oakert gets the strikeout. Look at this. Swing and a miss on that outside pitch. Beautiful job by Oakert. Out number 2. Runner stays on third. There is another meeting on the mound as Ryan Bliss comes to the plate. Will Bite says, the louder you boo, the louder the away team has to talk to hear each other during mound visits. Yeah, I get that. But actually, if you'll notice, the crowd starts booing as soon as the catcher is walking out there. And by the time he gets there and starts talking, the boos have already stopped. And not only that, the crowd right now in the stadium is like less than half of capacity. So they're not actually accomplishing anything. They start to boo as soon as it starts, but when they're actually talking, there's no booing going on. First pitch to Bliss is on the way. Little high and outside for ball 1. 79 mile per hour slider. In football, whenever the quarterback is trying to get do the count, the crowd gets so loud sometimes he can't hear anything, and he might call a timeout, and then the crowd goes crazy, right? Swing and a miss, 1-1 on Ryan Bliss. Good pitch there, fastball by Okert. But the thing about American football booing is that it happens at the right time, and the baseball crowds are not doing it at the right time. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Little check swing. Did he go around? They say he's safe. Just a little high, ball 2. It's more of a silly field than anything else, Wheelbite says. Yeah, I'm so interested in the game, and if people want to boo while they're talking, do it. But they're not doing that, so I think it is silly. Swing and a miss. Good pitch. Strike 2. The count is 2-2. We are 1 strike away from winning this game. Steven Okert on the mound trying to lock this down for the Astros. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Bliss. Strike 3! He does it, guys. He got the strikeout versus Bliss. The Astros win this game 2-1 on the backs of their relievers. The hitters just barely gave the Astros enough to win this game in 12 innings. What a game. Here's that last pitch one more time. Strike 3 against Bliss. 2-1, the Astros wrap this up in 12 innings. Holy freaking cow. Now I can give you guys the rundown of this game. Good fight, good night. Thank you, Will Bite. You have a good night, too. I'm going to give the scoring summary right quick, and then I'm going to be out of here because I am starving to death. I really, really am. Let's go back and take a look at this. Luckily, the scoring summary is very short. In the top of the 7th, Cam Smith had his first RBI with a triple to left field, scoring Diaz, giving the Astros the lead 1-0. That was the first run of the game. In the bottom of the 7th, the Mariners would answer with an infield single, scoring Garver and tying it up 1-1. From there, it was just a reliever's showdown, going 5 more innings with no runs. In the top of the 12th, Caratini singled to the opposite field, scoring Brendan Rodgers, giving the Astros the lead again 2-1. And then Steven Okert comes in the game, shuts down the Mariners in the bottom of the 12th, and there we have it. That's the ball game. Unfortunately, there's a no decision for Framber Valdez, even though he had a shutout through 6 innings. It didn't work out for him. But Gusto gets the win today, and Okert gets the save. That's all for me and all for this game. I thank you all for being here. It was a fun game to watch, even though it was just 2-1. Astros even the series, and we'll have one more tomorrow to see who can win this series, and I do hope it's the Astros. But until that game, all I have to say for now is Geaux Stros. See you guys next time. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, arigatou gozaimasu.